Standing with us. You are truly making a difference in the lives of our neighbors in need.
Can't make it to the game? We've got your back. Just go to www.IndianaSRN.org and tune in to all of the live action, or go to our on-demand service and relive your favorite moments.
Sports fans, welcome back to Game Time, to pure spirits, to pure sport. Welcome back to high school sports.
Fans, I'm IHSAA Commissioner Paul Knighty, and I just want to say, welcome back.
This is Game Time. This is Indiana high school sports. This is your IHSAA.
Hey Indiana, let's clear the air about vaping. Glue, rat poison, paint. We all know these products contain poisons like formaldehyde, arsenic, and lead. And these are just a few of the chemicals you'll find in e-cigarette vapor. Let's clear the air, Indiana. Don't puff this stuff. Visit don'tpuffthisstuff.com to join the fight and spread the word.
Calling officials cheaters or corrupt, it's not a game.
Insulting referees, it's not a game.
Threatening officials, it's not a game.
Berating young umpires, learning the ropes, it's not a game.
Violent language in the stands, it's not a game.
Verbal abuse from the sideline, it's not a game.
Screaming at a referee in the parking lot, it's not a game.
Knapp looking near side, now goes across the middle, a lot of air under that ball, and it's picked off.
I can go change my fate, you won't understand it all alone, that's okay.
Under pressure, Donovan Baker flies in and picks up the sack. The pocket just throws it down the field. It's another interception for Jeremiah McGuire.
It could be possibly my last dance, my last dance.
on Brown.
Fumble.
And Brown lost the football around the 45-yard line. Tigers say they have it. Pass across the middle, and it's picked off. This is Jake Lively. Has one man left to beat to the 40. Lively cuts it back inside of the 30, and the Tigers have their third interception of the night. From Enlow Field, good evening and welcome to Week 6 of high school football here on IndianaSRN. Our matchup tonight is the visiting Memorial Tigers. They come in 5-0, taking on the home team, the Bosse Bulldogs. They are 1-4. Again, welcome to our broadcast alongside Mike Scavara. I'm Jevin Revin. Glad to have you along with us this evening, and we remind you that our broadcasts throughout the year of Tigers football are brought to you by Memorial High School. Also by Mel K, Mechanical, Electrical, and Plumbing. Tigers football all season is brought to you by Ivy Tech Community College, Pet Food Center, Carreso Landscape, Rockabar Pizza, Lansing Building Specialties, Zemer Funeral Home, People's Furniture Mattress Outlet, Hyundai of Evansville, and the Memorial Booster Club. Well, you saw leading into the broadcast some highlights from last week's Tigers win, 29-0 against Harrison. It was their third shutout of the season, and they come in giving up less than 4 points a game. They get a big task tonight against Bosse. Yes, the record might be just 1-4, but it's a Bosse offense that averages 34 points per game. So, Mike, it's a simple question of what gives tonight.
Yeah, they know how to put points on the board. Wrights and Castle each have 185 points after 5 games, but right behind them are Bosse with 170 as the Bulldogs, coached by Stephen Mullen here in his third year. They've been racking up a lot of points, 34 points a game, and they do a lot with one player, and we'll talk about Elijah Wagner as not only in our pregame, but as the game goes on.
Yeah, Wagner, the senior quarterback, 5'7", 155 pounds. He accounts for most of their offense. We'll discuss how the Memorial defense will have to contain him tonight here later in our pregame show. Mention the records. Last week, Bosse, they lost at North 48-16. The Tigers beat Harrison here at Enlow Field 29-0. The Bulldogs have been road warriors through the first 5 weeks. 4 of their 5 games have been away from home. And you look at some of their results, they were pretty competitive against Jasper. The one that really stands out was a Week 3 loss here at home against Castle. 52-42 was the loss, and they were in that game the entire way.
And they were able to come away with some good wins or touchdowns in that win for Castle in the fourth quarter. Each team had 4 touchdowns in the fourth quarter. I mean, I watched the video on that. There was 198 plays run in that contest. So a lot of offense, and we're going to be able to see that tonight. But the Memorial defense has been equal to the task. As we talked about, 3 shutouts. They're number 2 in the state in giving up points.
I'll take our first break on our pregame show, getting set for a 6:30 kickoff. Tigers and Bulldogs from Enlow Field here on IndianaSRN.
Hey folks, good to be with you for tonight's game. My name is Andy Simpson, and I'm a licensed IHSAA football official, and welcome to Friday Night Football, powered by IndianaSRN. On behalf of the 340 football officials, the IHSAA, the crew here at IndianaSRN, we hope you enjoyed tonight's game, and more important, don't forget to subscribe to the IndianaSRN YouTube page. As you're watching tonight's contest, I'm going to show you a few of our signals that will help you better understand the information we are trying to convey. Touchdown, safety, first down, holding or illegal use of hands, encroachment, or offsides commonly known, false start or illegal formation on the offense, or a free kick scrimmage violation, face mask, intentional grounding, roughing the passer, clipping, illegal shift, illegal motion, illegal block, pass interference by the offense or the defense, delay of game, and the one signal we dislike and you as fans don't like seeing, unsporting. We'd like to thank everyone for tuning in tonight and following us on IndianaSRN. You can also tune in to the Football Weekly Show and Coach's Show every Saturday morning at 8 a.m. on IndianaSRN.org. Finally, if you've ever thought about becoming an IHSAA official, www.ihsaa.org and click on the Officials tab or call the IHSAA office at 317-846-6601. Now, sit back and enjoy the game.
Back on our pregame show, getting you set for this Week 6 matchup. It is Bosse and Memorial alongside Mike Scavara. I'm Jevin Redmond. We take a look at the head coaching comparison. Of course, throughout the year, we talk about Coach Hurley quite a bit in his 16th season. Record of 133-66. On the other sideline is Stephen Mullen. He's in his third season with the Bulldogs as the head man. Record of 5-21. His first year, they won 3 games. Last year, just one win, going 1-9. But you look back at his football history, and as a player, he was very successful.
2010 graduate of Evansville Rights, and of course they were state champs in 2007 and 2009, and he's been an assistant coach here at Bosse since 2015, so he knows these seniors since they've been in the feeder league.
Let's talk about a general game plan first for Memorial. We've hit on some about how good the quarterback Elijah Wagner is, not only throwing but also running. Very explosive. So what are some keys tonight for the Tigers defense?
For the defense, they have to keep everybody in front of you, and I know they've worked in practice all week doing so, but they have to be able to just ready for any improvisation that Coach Hurley and Coach Johnson want to have against that defense. And Memorial's offense, they can contribute to the defense by ball control. You know, last week they had the ball against Harrison 27.5 minutes. If they do that again, that limits the Bosse's offensive possessions.
And the one thing, too, we saw last week in the game against Harrison, the Warriors moved the football very well, especially that first half, couple of drives with a 12-play drive, then a 10-play drive, no points. Tigers defense has been able to play that bend-don't-break defense all season long. So on the Bosse sideline, hey, they can score some points. We've touched on that, but they're also feeling we've got to get some stops to have a chance to win.
Yeah, Coach Mullen has talked about that. He says that has been our key for our success here that we're going to go on and going forward in the second half of the regular season is getting our defense to play better. 3 down linemen, 4 linebackers. Those 2 outside linebackers are almost like defensive ends. So it could give some running lanes for the Memorial offense. And, of course, the passing game has worked for the Tigers. They've passed the ball twice as many yards as they've run this year.
Let's touch on our player spotlight for this Week 6 game. We'll start with the Bulldogs, and we've already mentioned him, quarterback Elijah Wagner, the 5'7" senior.
2-year starter, and he's the leading passer, and he is the leading rusher on this season. He's thrown for almost 1,000 yards, 979, and 9 touchdowns. He's second in the conference, and that leads the conference in rushing with 974 and 10 touchdowns. A veteran program player, a captain leader of the offense.
One of his favorite targets is Royal Elliott. He has 4 of his 9 touchdown passes.
And he's also, as Coach Mullen will say, he's our leader on the defense. He's a coach on the field. He puts everybody in the right place. Another 2-year starter, another veteran program player. When Coach Mullen means by that, they've been in the program since they've been in the feeder league.
Part of that Tigers defense that has been so good, the pulse linebacker position, Sam Nichols.
Accountability and dependability is what the key thing Coach Hurley talks about. He's always there. He's going to be at the right place at the right time, pays attention to detail, helps out all the other players on defense, an honor student. You would think that, and also another athlete in another sport, track and field.
Another guy that can play a lot of different positions is Carson Anslinger, another senior.
Yeah, he's one of those guys that you can plug in anywhere in case somebody goes down or somebody needs to take some time. He can play multiple positions, both offense and defense. A 3-sport athlete. He comes up with basketball and baseball. He's been kind of slowed by injury. Last week's homecoming king.
It's always important, right?
That's right.
Let's take a look around the SIAC tonight. Now we are in the back half of the regular season schedule, and only 2 teams that are undefeated is Memorial and Wrights. If they both win this week, then that would set up a 6-0 matchup next week at the Bowl for each team. Vincennes is 4-1. They're in 3rd place. Then it's Castle, North, and Jasper, all at 3-2, and it drops off after that. But we look at the matchups tonight throughout the city, and Wrights travels to Castle. That's probably the headliner tonight. Wrights is 5-0. Castle is 3-2. Also maybe intriguing between North and Mater Dei at the Bowl. Just thoughts on the games this week, Mike?
It's going to be an opportunity for some teams to stay in the hunt and for some other teams to maybe get a victory and make themselves feel better. As you know, we're only a couple of weeks away from the 51st annual IHSAA football state tournament draw. That'll be Sunday, October 8th.
Let's take a timeout. We'll come back and preview the starting lineups for each side. It is Bosse and Memorial here from Enlow Field. Beautiful night for football here on IndianaSRN.
Let's clear the air about vaping. Glue, rat poison, paint. We all know these products contain poisons like formaldehyde, arsenic, and lead. And these are just a few of the chemicals you'll find in e-cigarette vapor. Let's clear the air, Indiana. Don't puff this stuff. Visit don'tpuffthisstuff.com to join the fight and spread the word.
My name is Jay Jones. I'm the commissioner of the Heartland Collegiate Athletic Conference, and we appreciate you tuning in to tonight's game. We hope you'll stay tuned to SRN for tomorrow's Heartland Conference Game of the Week, showcasing some of the best small college football in the Midwest. We look forward to seeing you then.
Less than 5 minutes away from kickoff between Bosse and Memorial. And we take a look at tonight's starting lineups. They're brought to you by Rockabar. You can join them at their new location at the corner of Green River Road, 4600 Washington Avenue in Evansville. We start with the Bosse offense.
Well, the offense for Bosse, explosive. As all the receivers and guys in the backfield can really get the job done, as you're looking for maybe their offensive line of Griffin, St. Germain, Stewart, Norris, and Burns to really keep out that defense, keep them off the receivers, and keep them off Wagner and the running back.
Bulldogs defense gave up 48 points last week at North. We'll see if they can step up tonight.
Putting pressure is going to be a key to them, and by doing so, that front three of Sheed and Fellows and Griffin, along with Elliott and Wilson outside, they're going to be key. But that secondary is going to have to be playing tough, because if the run game and the pass game works, they're going to have a lot of pressure put on them.
For the Tigers offense, they average 28 points a game, but again, battling some injuries. So you see Petke in there at quarterback for the injured Fisher, and Porter Rhodes out once again tonight.
As you're looking at the offensive line, we've talked about them being young all year. You know, people don't realize they're all underclassmen. You're looking at Parker Mattingly, Brady Combs, Brian Carr, Andrew Jones, and I guess the only senior is Aiden Waller.
And for the Tigers defense, it's been a strength this year, giving up less than 4 points a game.
The front seven, two defensive ends, two defensive tackles, three linebackers have bulk of the tackles. You're going to have to get Joseph Hinkie and Desmond Johnson, Jeremiah McGuire, and Jake Lively. They're going to have to be the last line of defense against Elijah Wagner and the Bosse offense.
Again, tonight's starting lineups brought to you by Rockabar. Join them at their new location at the corner of Green River Road at 4600 Washington Avenue in Evansville. We'll take our last time out, and we'll come back with the kickoff next here on IndianaSRN.
Harvey here at Hyundai of Evansville. We love this community and we love these hot deals that we are offering. Like low prices on the new 23 Santa Fe's, now get an additional $2,500 rebate when you finance with Hyundai Motor Finance, and get 3-year free maintenance and America's best warranty.
So if you're in the market for a new vehicle, stop in and let us show you some love.
Right here at Hyundai of Evansville, where credit is never a deal breaker.
Where nobody walks away because everybody saves.
Why do our students love Wrights Memorial?
Because I can grow stronger on the field and in my faith. I believe in my teammates. I believe in my classmates. And through Christ, I believe I can accomplish anything.
Come live your faith at Wrights Memorial.
Time for football. Glad you're with us. Week 6 action alongside Mike Scavara. I'm Jevin Redmond. Or as I tell people, Kevin with a J. That's all right.
All right.
I've had a whole lot worse, but glad you're with us, and should be a lot of fun tonight. I'm really intrigued to watch this Bosse offense again. They've been very explosive throughout the season, and I'm more excited to see how they fare against what's been a strong defense and a well-coached defense too.
Well, they're certainly a ball club that is experienced. 15 of their 42 guys on their roster are seniors, and most of them have been together for 8 years since 5th grade. And, this is a real solid history matchup. This is the 108th game that these two teams have played. Memorial has the advantage 69-33-5. In fact, these two teams met 8 different times, 2 times in a row, or 2 times in one season. And that you don't have to go very far back to do that, because they met twice last year. Memorial prevailed 54-14 and 52-20 in the tournament. But a lot of things that have gone right for the Memorial Tigers. And you look at takeaways, for example, matching up the two defenses. Memorial has 14 takeaways, 11 interceptions, 3 fumble recoveries, where Bosse has 5, 2 interceptions and 3 fumble recoveries. So I'm sure Coach Mullen would like to have their defense step up, and the Tigers look to continue to do that. Offensively, it could be a long night. As I watched the tape between Bosse and Castle, and did I even mention this? I've talked to people about it all week. There was 196 plays from scrimmage in that ballgame. So it could be a long night if both offenses keep going.
Looks like the Tigers won the toss. They defer to the second half, so we will see that explosive Bosse offense first tonight. And our officiating crew this evening is a good one. The white hat Bob Davis, you see in the middle of your screen. Rest of the crew is Dwayne Frobeater, Ryan Owen, Mark Carl, and Robert Stewart. All right, Mike, we talked some in the first segment about the game plans for each side. Before the kickoff, give me 1 or 2 keys for each team.
The Tigers are going to have to make sure they contain the running of Elijah Wagner and the throwing. You look at them, they've rushed the ball 149 times. Wagner has rushed it 100 times. So 2/3 of the time, Elijah Wagner is going to be either throwing or carrying the football. So it's imperative that they keep him, because he can improvise. And all of that, they play what a lot of people call a wildcat offense. Well, they'll snap the ball, and it's a direct run for him right away. And when he even drops back to pass, he can break that. So they're going to have to, alignment and assignment is going to be key for the Bosse defense. They're going to make sure that the Tigers still have their running game, which has only netted 530 yards this year. It keeps at that level, and try to put pressure on the quarterback, and that's how they'll be able to get the job done. But it ought to be an interesting matchup. Both of these two teams looking for some opportunities to come away with a good win and start the second half of the season on a high note.
Bosse's thinking, man, it feels good to be home. They've only played 1 home game all season long. Tigers have been here every game but Week 3 at Central. Tigers will finish the year at Wrights next week, home against Vincennes and at Castle. For the Bulldogs after tonight, they are home next week again against Mater Dei, at Wrights Week 8, and then home against Harrison Week 9. Mentioned earlier, a beautiful night for football. It is 77 degrees right now here in Evansville. It'll be in the 60s before night's end. And with that, it is time for Week 6 action. Pate Barrett, the sophomore kicker, is set to kick it away. Tigers in the whites and the Bulldogs in the red tops, gray pants. We're underway. Here is a short kick angle toward the Tigers side of the field. It's bobbled and it rolls out of bounds. That was touched by Adrian Jackson, and fairly good field position for Bosse.
Yeah, you're going to see short kickoffs for both teams. As I've watched some video on Bosse, they pooch kick it just about every time as well. And when they do score offensively, they don't kick extra points. They've had 24 touchdowns and been successful on 2-point conversions 13 times. 1st and 10 for Bosse, starting from their own 35.
Yeah, we talked about this offense averages 34 points a game. You get into the yards per game. Through the air, 215. On the ground, 246 per contest. So here we go. First play of the night comes from the Bosse 35-yard line.
Empty backfield.
And Wagner will take off running up the middle, weaving through traffic. Gets past the 40 before he's tripped up at the 44-yard line. So right on cue. Wagner gets 9 on the first carry.
Coming up from the secondary, and we're going to probably say that a lot, defensively tackling for the Tigers was Jeremiah McGuire, but he picks up 9. So he had blockers out in front and was able to weave through a lot of tacklers and pick up a good gain.
So it's 2nd and 1 from the Bosse 44-yard line. Wagner's a 5'7" senior, 155 pounds.
Could see the same play the other way this time.
Wagner this year has 4 games. 4 of the 5 weeks he has rushed for more than 100 yards. Here's a quick pass out in the flat. Hope catches for the first down, and he cruises into Tigers territory out of bounds at the 45-yard line. Easy pitch and catch to Amari Hope.
Hope does a nice job catching the football, and yards after the catch gets it in the Tiger territory as coming up on the secondary was, again, McGuire along with Lowry. So 2 long, not quite first downs, but 2 long offensive plays to start the ball game for Bosse.
And while we talk about Wagner's wheels, he throws fairly well. He completes 58% of his passes. Here is a give to Elliott, and Elliott gets out of 1 tackle and then almost had the ball wrenched free from behind before he's brought down to the 41-yard line, a pickup of 4 for the senior Royal Elliott.
Donovan Baker in on the stop. Again, he leads the Tiger defense with 6 tackles for losses, and he played a good game last week. He had 10 tackles, but that'll go to the Tigers 41. Just underway here at Enlow Field.
For Elliott, that was just his 6th carry of the year, just over 30 yards. 2nd and 6 from the Tigers' 41-yard line. Wagner tries to take off running left side, got a block, turns the corner 40, 35-yard line, and he zips out of bounds on the Bulldogs sideline for a first down to the 33. It's a pickup of 8. Move the chains.
And it's imperative for the Tiger defense to take the correct pursuit angle. That time a couple of players did not, and that allowed Wagner to get out around the end and pick up a first down. As you can see, Wagner gets out there, a couple of tacklers behind, gets to the outside, and just goes out of bounds to live for another play. 2 guys in the backfield this time, maybe protection for passing.
From the Tigers' 33-yard line, they run it out of a tackle, past the 30. Far sideline, burst of speed by Wagner, and he gets a nice chunk of yards once again on that carry for a first down.
Good job that time. They used both of those guys instead of blocking for pass protection. They took on the linebackers, and he moves it all the way down. Does Wagner almost to the red zone.
Right at the 20-yard line. Wagner averaging 174 yards on the ground this year. 4 of the 5 weeks, more than 100 yards rushing. They are moving the ball right down the field in the opening drive. Here is a give, running left side, and there's a short gain of a yard to the 19.
Donovan Baker coming up there along with Ben Z with the 2 defensive ends is running the ball was Aaron Fanot. As short gain on the play of 1. First time the defense for Memorial was able to keep Bosse from a long gainer.
This next play will be number 7 of the drive. Remember last week, Harrison's offense, the opening drive went 12 plays before they turned over on downs at the 25-yard line. This is 2nd and 9 from the Tigers' 19-yard line. 2 guys in the backfield with Wagner. Wagner cuts it up the middle of the field, makes one man miss. He's at the 10. Wagner still on his feet. Bosse scores first. A 19-yard rushing touchdown for Elijah Wagner, his 11th of the season.
Good job time that time. They fake it to the fullback. That's kind of a pistol look as Elijah Wagner comes up with the big run, picks up another touchdown in his arsenal in the running. And just like that, as we can see, fakes the dive, cuts inside, makes a man miss, cuts to the right, comes back to the left, a couple of more missed tackles, and Bosse goes right down the field, goes 65 yards, and they'll go for 2 like they've done all year on the extra points.
Running back to the chip of Wagner. And they are looking to throw. Wagner moves to his left. He's in some trouble now. Swarmed by a couple of Tigers. Flings it back of the end zone. It's batted away. They were looking for Landon Lloyd, but the Tigers defense prevents the 2-point conversion. But Bosse scores in the opening drive. 7 plays. They lead 6-0 early first quarter.
The goal isn't graduation day. It's a better every day after. It's the first day in your new career. Your first pay raise. The 5th day of that week-long vacation. It's the first paid holiday home with your family. Or the day of your last car loan payment. Much sooner than you thought. At Ivy Tech Community College, we don't just care about your degree, we care about your life. Let's get started at ivytech.edu.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to Memorial.
Hey, thanks for being here. You're in great hands.
Scoring recap for the Bosse Bulldogs. They get the opening kickoff and march right down the field. 7 plays, 65 yards, 2 minutes and 22 seconds. Their quarterback, Elijah Wagner, with a 19-yard rushing touchdown, his 11th rushing score of the year. They go for 2 every time, and Tigers defense was able to hold them on the 2-point conversion. That's why it is 6-0. And this kickoff just goes right out of bounds. The Tigers get good field position.
Now the penalty on that is it's 25 yards from where it's kicked. So Bosse started at their own 35 on a pooch kick that was touched and then goes out of bounds. Memorial will try to match that starting from their own 35.
I want to thank Wrights Memorial High School, sponsor of tonight's broadcast, putting this together, providing an environment where God inspires, they educate, and students thrive since 1925. Check their website out at wrightsmemorial.org for more information. Will Petke makes his second consecutive start for the injured Matthew Fisher. Petke on the season, 15 of 22 passing, close to 300 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. He is a 5'11 senior, 160 pounds. The Tigers offense last week got the ground game going. They rushed for over 200 yards in their win against Harrison. That was something that had struggled the first 4 weeks of the year. Drive starts from their own 35-yard line. Petke out of the gun. And the handoff goes to Horning up the middle, and he's sandwiched after a short gain of 2.
Nice job coming up was Jadarian Griffin, holding him to a couple of yards.
Probably an odd feeling for the Tigers defense on the sideline. They had came in giving up 19 total points the entire season.
Yeah, that's only the second touchdown that they've given up since the third quarter of the opening game against Jasper.
First drive of the night for the Tigers, 2nd and 8 from their own 37-yard line. Petke receives the snap, the handoff to Horning. He runs right side, cruising outside that right hash mark. Then he's upended at the 43-yard line. A pickup of 6 for Landon Horning.
Good job coming up here on the tackle as Elliott comes up along with Wilkerson.
Well, Horning, a guy that's getting the start for the injured Porter Road. We saw a host of Tigers get some action on the ground last week, but Horning averaging 6 yards per carry. He got 6 there. It's 3rd and 2 from their own 43-yard line. They move, a man in motion right to left. Inside give to Horning. He dives forward and appears to have the first down, getting past the 45-yard line.
Keandre Hall, the linebacker, stops him, but just as he touches the 45-yard line, so the Tigers get a first down via the run and get a fresh set of downs. And 3 down linemen. Outside linebackers give you a 4 or 5 man look, 2 linebackers, 4 guys in the secondary, and they'll usually have a linebacker blitzing just about every play.
So far, 3 plays, 3 run plays. You see Schultz there move right to left on your screen. Petke to throw for the first time, goes across the middle. He threw it behind Schultz. Good adjustment to pull that pass in at the 48-yard line. That's a gain of 5.
Timothy Wilkerson right there in on the stop, so give him about 3.5. We'll call it a 2nd and long 6.
For Schultz, that was his 13th catch of the season, closing in on 200 yards. Second down for the Tigers, trailing 6-0. Under center goes Petke. Hand off to Horning. Not much running room there. He tries to bury his head, and he is stacked up at the line of scrimmage. Will set up a 3rd and long. Maybe lost a half yard.
Yeah, Bosse daring him to run or throw the ball, rather. They had 9 guys, Jevin, within 3 yards of the line of scrimmage. So maybe no gain on that play.
So you're looking at 3rd and about 6. They've got to get to the 45-yard line of Bosse for a first down.
Bring in a fullback, I formation.
Petke hands off left tackle. Horning looking for a block, and then he is gobbled up a yard shy of the first down.
A good hustle that time is coming up the stop where Marjan Sheed along with Wilkerson.
Tigers hustle up the line of scrimmage here. It's a long one for a first down. They go I formation again. They've ran it quite a bit on this drive. And Petke with the hard count. Got Bosse to jump off sides. Free first down.
Strategy the Tigers have used a lot offensively throughout the year, and it's paid off a few times. So they'll move the ball up 5, now in Bosse territory.
So to the 41-yard line of Bosse. 2 wide receivers far side. Petke back under center again here on 1st and 10. On play action, Petke in the pocket. He'll fling it deep down the field, and Elshman got caught behind the secondary but couldn't turn around and make the catch. It's incomplete. It's only the first time that we've seen Petke in his short amount of time this year take a shot down the field.
And not only that, he took a shot as he threw the ball because coming in were about 2 or 3 red shirts. Stops the clock midway through this first quarter. Bosse goes right down the field on a 65-yard drive, 7 plays, and gets a touchdown run by Elijah Wagner.
Back to Horning. He's had success on this drive. Lowers the boom. Head-on collision to the 36-yard line, a pickup of 5.
Royal Elliott comes in with the stop. Is Royal Elliott doing a good job? Is again talking with Coach Mullen. He says he's our coach on the field defensively, and he's one of the top tacklers coming in on the year. As Elliott has 30, and he came up with a big one there.
This will be play number 9 of this drive. Petke almost got a hard count again as Bosse was showing blitz there. Did not jump off sides. Play clock down to 10 as Petke looks toward the Tigers' sideline. They're going to run it again with Horning. Stutter steps right up the middle, running in between the hash marks and close to the first down. I think he got 4 yards, about a yard shy. Tigers have converted 1 4th down. Well, they got a penalty that gave them the first down.
Well, Landon Merrimee has been playing some fullback, number 54. He's a defensive lineman. Now they're going to bring in Donovan Baker with another back in the backfield. So the 2nd, 4th down here in this drive as Bosse will bring up 10 guys to the line of scrimmage.
Bosse doesn't jump this time. This drive has carved up more than 4 minutes off that clock. On 4th and 1, they give it to the fullback, Baker. He's got the first down easily, bulldozing forward to the 27-yard line, and that is good enough for a Tigers first down.
Donovan starting defensive end. He's turned himself to one of the better defensive players on the Tigers, but he comes in and does the job on offense. 2 4th down conversions for the Tigers in this drive.
First carry of the night for Baker. He came in 12 rushes, just over 55 yards and 1 score. Down to the Bosse 27-yard line. This is still the first drive of the night for Memorial. Bosse went 7 plays, 65 yards after the opening kickoff. Petke rolls out to his right. He tries to deliver one down the field, and he leads his man too far. Dasmond Johnson, who was wide open, would have been 6 for the Tigers.
Yeah, I'm sure Will and Dasmond would like to have that one back. They'll talk about that one after the game is over as we see Dasmond coming back and bringing the football back to the referee. There's the replay. Good rollout. Baker short, open. Johnson long, open. Couldn't convert. And the Tigers offensively, Jevin, we talked about in the pregame show, their offense could be like a good defense because the more time they're on offense, that's the less time Bosse is going to be on offense.
That's what they've done so far on this drive. The second down give is to Horning. He cuts it back inside, keeps those feet moving, gets an extra yard or 2. He is stacked up at the 21-yard line, a gain of about 6 for Landon Horning. That was play number 12 of this drive.
Good job by Horning. Made a couple of guys miss. And before coming up was Darian Fellows along with Timothy Wilkerson. So another 3rd down play.
Fast-moving first quarter, 3.5 to go. Still 6-0 Bosse. Tigers break the huddle with 10 on the play clock. Got 3 wide receivers bunched to the far side. And you've got Elshman lined up at the quarterback spot. Play clock down to 1. And Memorial calls timeout just in time. So we'll step aside. Tigers starting to threaten. They trail 6-0 here on IndianaSRN.
Does your home's exterior need a makeover? Consider a new entry door from Lensing Building Specialties. Browse classic and modern door styles to boost your home's curb appeal. Explore our wide variety of beautiful and energy-efficient entry and patio doors. Don't worry about the work. Schedule an appointment for our skilled techs to install it for you. Get started at lensingbuildingspecialties.com and make your home feel new again.
A Rights Memorial education is now more affordable than ever. If you fit within certain income guidelines, you could receive over $6,000 of tuition assistance. Find out if you qualify for an Indiana School Choice Scholarship or other tuition assistance opportunities. Your child, your money, your choice. Visit rightsmemorial.org for more information.
6-0 Bosse, late first quarter. Tigers had to burn their first timeout of the half. This is a 3rd down play. The snap goes to Elshman, and he wants to run it up the middle. And not much there. They're inside the red zone, inside the 20, but short of the first down, and it brings up another 4th down in this opening drive, the 3rd one that they've seen.
Well, Elliott makes the tackle short of the first. I'm not so sure. We've seen a lot of 4th down plays. They're going to measure this one, I think.
Okay.
Because Ellspermann did fall forward. So they're trying to take a page out of Coach Mullen's book for Bosse and the offense, a wildcat formation. Of course, we've seen that with Simon Scholes, and then Luke Ellspermann did that last week as well.
So while they measure, we want to thank the Wrights Memorial Athletic Booster Club for sponsoring tonight's broadcast. Join the tradition of supporting Memorial Athletics. You can like them on the Facebook page for more information. In live action, I thought he was short of the first down. It's closer than I thought.
It's a good foot and a half.
Yep.
Well, if they don't get any more, it would be a 34-yard field goal, but they're going to bring in Donovan Baker again, probably line him up on the backfield as well. They gave it to him last time, and he picked up a first.
It's Baker's only carry so far tonight was on that 4th down give as the fullback, so we'll see what they do here with 2:53 left in the quarter.
3rd, 4th down play so far for the Memorial Tigers as this drive started on their own 35 with 9:38 to go in the first quarter.
Petke goes under center. Again, Baker the fullback, Horning is the running back. They need less than a yard for a first down. Fullback Baker gets much more than that 1 yard. He lunges out to the 10-yard line, maybe just shy, gain of about 7 for Donovan Baker on a first down for the Tigers, and they're inside the red zone, which is brought to you by Peace of Mind. They're an outpatient private practice helping individuals of all ages, couples, and families on their mental health journey. Check them out online and make an appointment at their new Evansville East Side location. They spot it at the 10, so we have 1st and goal. And once again, we see the Wildcat with Elshman lined up at quarterback, Horning to his left hip. Elshman's going to take off running, looking for a block here near side, and he can't get outside the numbers. Good shoestring tackle there by the Bosse defense, which knocked him down to the turf after a gain of about a half a yard. Mike, that was the 15th play of this drive.
Again, it's what the Tigers were probably to look at is the fact that Ellspermann probably give him a yard as they try to get the perimeter, but good pursuit that time by the Bosse defense.
We'll see if they can cash it in here. Most of the work has been done on the ground. Play number 16. Petke fakes the handoff, rolls out to his right, surveying toward the end zone. He's running out of room, tries to take off running. Oh, and he lost the football. Bosse comes up with it. A costly turnover by Will Petke. It's a fumble. The Bosse defense holds, and they get the football back after a 16-play drive. Gives the Tigers nothing.
Here's the replay. You can see where Petke makes...
Someone just punched it right out of there.
Keandre Hall, number 33, comes up with the recovery. Again, that's just the sixth takeaway on the year. So the Tigers get down to the Bosse 8 and turn the ball over.
Big play on that drive, too, was the miscue between Petke and Johnson, a play action that would have resulted in 6, but Petke led him too far. And now the fumble gives the ball to Bosse. That is the first fumble from the Tigers this year.
That they've lost, exactly.
Correct, yeah.
And, they went 57 yards. And what was that, 16 plays, you said?
16 plays. Here's a handoff that will go for a short loss. And Bosse on their opening drive went 7 plays, 65 yards, 2 minutes and 22 seconds. It was Wagner who scampered for a 19-yard touchdown. Coming up on a minute to go here in the opening quarter, still 6-0 Bosse. Ball at their own 9 after the loss of a yard, 2nd and 11. See, the Tigers defense can make some adjustments out of that opening drive. Wagner fakes the handoff. He takes off running far side. Got a block 20, 25-yard line, and out of bounds he goes, shy of the 30. It's like he stepped out of the 25. Wagner did there. You saw that good speed from the senior, and he got a block there on the outside.
Yeah, I thought running him out was Joseph Hinkie, but not after he goes from the 9 to the 25. So 16 yards, another first down.
Ball gets spotted left hash mark at the Bulldogs' 25-yard line. 2 wide receivers set. They're going to run it this time. It is Floyd Jr. who gets taken down at the 26, a gain of a yard.
Slowing him down was Tanner Grease. And then a couple of white shirts slow him down and give him a yard.
Bosse does not have to run another play here in the quarter if they don't want to. We're down to 20 seconds to go. Tigers defense tries to get organized here. It's 2nd and 9. Empty backfield for Wagner. He's looking to throw. Stands in the pocket, now starts to move. He's under pressure, rolling to his left, and he takes off running before he is angled out of bounds. Looks like he got back to the line of scrimmage with plus a few yards. Broshears angled him out of bounds. Tigers leading tackler on defense, and that play takes us to the end of the first quarter. Tigers had the ball for 16 plays. They had 1 drive, but they fumbled inside the 10-yard line. Bosse scores on their opening drive, and they lead at 6-0 here at Enloe Field.
Melk, located in Evansville, Indiana, provides mechanical, electrical, and plumbing solutions nationwide. We deliver quality service to the industrial, commercial, and healthcare industries. If you have a big project, we bring big solutions. That includes designing and installing green energy systems that benefit your business. Our in-depth knowledge and commitment to safety make us the perfect partner in MEP contracting. Contact us for an estimate on your next project. Melk, big projects, big solutions.
Why do our students love Wrights Memorial?
Memorial helps me find the right rhythm on stage and in my education. I believe in developing my craft. I believe in building a community. And now, I believe I can hit the right notes in all aspects of life.
Showcase your talents at Wrights Memorial.
Creso Landscaping has been serving Evansville and Newburgh for over 20 years. For all your landscaping installation and maintenance, if you're not satisfied with your lawn or landscape, Contact Caressol at 812-853-7606 or at Caressol.com. This is a 3rd and 9 for Bosse from their own 26-yard line to start the second quarter. Bulldogs lead 6-0. Looking to throw is Wagner. He moves to his left. He is swarmed by a couple of Tigers, takes off running, and he will tiptoe out of bounds, shy of the first down. That was good coverage that time by the Tigers defense.
That's what you have to do against Wagner. Keep him contained. He was able to still break contain, but they did a good job in the secondary, and that'll bring up a 4th down and long in a punting situation.
Yeah, it'll be 4th and 6 from their own 29-yard line. This will be the first punt that we've seen so far tonight. Tigers will have 2 guys back to return. That is Luke Elshman along with Dylan Kendrick. We saw Kendrick get some playing time last week against Harrison and succeeded offensively.
The Tigers were able to draw Bosse offsides. They might try to do the same thing here. Amari Hope will be doing the punting.
And a flag flies before the snap. And the flag is against Bosse.
Cost him 5.
Tigers should get this ball in pretty good field position after the punt. Tigers offense had no problem moving the ball down the field on the ground, but again, Petke fumbled inside the 10-yard line after a 16-play drive. They were about to tie it at 6, but coughed it up. Punt is away. It's a short kick. Elsherman from the 45-yard line. Middle of the field, 50. 45-40. Head of steam Elsherman to the 30. Still on his feet. And he is brought down from behind. Right back at where about the initial line of scrimmage was after that punt. But Elsherman with a nice spark on special teams. And the Tigers set up well.
They returned it to the left. Good job. As you can see, Elsperman grabs it about the 46. Makes the turn. Gets a block. Goes downfield. Cuts back, and finally gets run down on the play by Keontae Jones-Brown. So the Tigers in great field position deep into Bosse territory.
Line of scrimmage on that punt was the 29-yard line. Tigers drive starts from the 27. The 4 wide receivers set, trips from the near side. Petke hands off to Horning. Boy, he has nowhere to go. There's 4 red jerseys right there to just pile him to the turf. It's a loss of a yard for Horning, who carried the ball well in that opening drive. Didn't have a chance there. And it's 2nd and 11. Hey, real quick, this broadcast is copyrighted by IndianaSRN and the Indiana High School Athletic Association. For the private use of our audience, the use of pictures, videos, and audio without the expressed written permission of the IHSAA is prohibited. So it was a loss of a yard from the 28-yard line for the Tigers. It's 2nd and 11. Petke hands off. This is Elshman coming near side. Nowhere to go for him, and he's twisted down way back at the 35-yard line. Loss of 6.
Well, the Bosse defense coming up big. That's what Coach Mullen wanted. They needed to. They've been scoring a lot of points, but their defense has been giving up even more. But back-to-back negative yards for the Tigers have pushed them back.
So now, Tigers in a deep hole here, 3rd and 18. You can look at it as you got 2 plays, get 18 yards. Look at it, as soon as Elshman got that ball, you saw those 3 red jerseys right there to greet him. And that was Royal Elliott who got the tackle. Petke, they set up a screen pass. Elshman catches, and it's a short gain to the 33.
Set that quick screen out to the left with Elsperman, and Bosse, I'm sure, worked on that one during the week because they had 3 defenders out there. Give them a few, but not many.
So it's 4th and 16 and no man's land at the 33-yard line. So the offense stays on the field here. Early second quarter, still 6-0 Bosse. 4 wide receivers set. Petke with the hard count got Bosse to jump once in the first quarter. Play clock down to 10 as Coach Hurley goes through another series of signals from the near sideline.
Schultz open here on the right side.
Petke gets flushed out of the pocket. He's going to take off running. Petke to the 20. He stays inbounds, and then right at the first down marker, got undercut and picks up the first down. Wow, Will Petke shows off his speed, limping a bit after that play. A risky play by Petke, but he gets the first down for the Tigers.
Watching on the right. Gets a good block. Makes the turn corner and will get a good screen block there. It allows him to pick up the first down. Anslinger out there blocking.
Oh, they're actually saying there's a flag on the play.
Yeah, actually, Anslinger might have blocked from behind the back. So block in the back. Petke will pick up yardage. But the block in the back. Oh, actually, the penalty was at the 30-yard line.
They gave the signal for targeting. A personal foul penalty.
So that happened on the 30. So that wipes out the play, and the Tigers will have a 15-yard penalty against it. And so that'll bring up a 4th down situation in the punt team.
That's twice now. Tigers were knocking on the door, but you have a fumble and a penalty that negates it. So we'll see Joseph Hickey punt. Typically that is either Fisher or Rowe. They're both sidelined, so Hickey is the punter. One punt last week for 33 yards. He'll try to pin Bosse deep. Low snap, he handles it well. Spiraling kick. Angled far side, returned from the 5-yard line. They have him contained fairly well, and the Tigers special teams does their job at the 6-yard line.
Fano was the receiver, got it about the 5, scrambled around, actually picked up about a yard, but the Tigers get a good punt, get it inside the 10-yard line at the 6. So good job that time by Hinkey, coming away on the punt of 51 yards.
We have some scores from the SIAC. Second quarter action. Jasper leads Central 21-0. North 6, Monterey 0. Castle leads Wright 6-0. And Vincennes on top of Harrison 7-0. Thanks to Tucker Smith. And our scoreboard is brought to you by Kipley's. They're on the corner of the Lloyd Expressway and Bakey Avenue. Join them before or after the game for great food and fun. Here is Wagner. Well, he can use his legs to create some breathing room. He does just that, scampering past the 10 to the 12-yard line, a gain of 7.
Key possession for Bosse to get out of their own, deep in their own territory, and a key one as well for the Tiger defense to try to get the ball back for the offense.
A 25 to go first half, 6-0 Bosse. They scored on the opening drive of the game. Wagner, high snap. Takes off running again. Tries to make one man miss, but he can't. Brought down around the ankles at the 10. It's a loss of 2, so it's 3rd and 5.
Good job that time coming up from the secondary for the Tigers was Jake Lively. I'll bring up a 3rd down and long.
And Wagner came in averaging close to 9 yards per carry. Had 100 rushes for 874 yards. We've seen him complete a short pass so far tonight. We'll see what they do here on 3rd and 5 from their own 10.
Last time when he had 2 backs in the backfield, he ran it.
Bosse calls a timeout. We'll take it with them. 7:34 to go, second quarter. Bulldogs enjoying a 6-0 lead.
We encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, IndianaSRN. Hit the bell to get notifications for upcoming games and more. Watch as many games as you want, as many times as you want.
Bosse calls their first time out of the half. They're staring at 3rd and 5. Ball just in front of the 10-yard line. 7:34 to go here in the first half. 6-0 Bulldogs. See the Tigers defense can keep the field flipped. Wagner fakes the handoff, moves to his left. Man right there on his backside. And down he goes in the end zone, or is it in front of the goal line?
They say it's in front of the goal line, and coming up for the Tigers, Quizmano Jean, the junior, who's seen some limited playing time, and that's a 10-yard quarterback sack.
We're at the half-yard line. Here's a look at it again. Now it's where forward progress is shut off.
Yeah, he was out.
Yep, good call. So they have to punt from their own end zone.
And I'm sure Coach Mullen is holding his breath here.
You might still get your safety here. The Tigers return man, they put one back, so you'll have 10 up there to rush. Elsherman is at the 35-yard line of Bosse. Low snap, and there you go. Safety for the Tigers. Almost had it the play before. Low snap skips the punter, and the Tigers get on the board thanks to the safety, and it's 6-2 now, our score here in the second quarter.
Back-to-back team sacks, or team safeties, rather, as they did it against Harrison last week. The snap is low, bounces out beyond the end line, and the Tigers get two and will get the football.
Hey, if you need a new front door, Lensing Building Specialties sells and installs a wide variety of exterior doors. Learn more at lensingbuildingspecialties.com. Well, if you're Bosse, it's a trade-off because if you get that punt away, the Tigers are going to have an extremely short field. You do give them the 2 points, and they'll still have decent field position here. The Tigers have had the ball inside the 15-yard line twice. They've come away with no points.
Now the defense gets points on the board. Again, Hope has not been kicking it deep most of the year, and actually he's going to be punting it this time.
So the free kick, pretty good boot. Elsherman over the shoulder catch like a center field at the 35-yard line. Looking for a block, got it. 45-50, head of steam, 45-40. Cuts it back inside. Dragging tacklers to the 37-yard line. He was patiently waiting for his block. He got it turned on the Jets. And the Tigers will get it at the Bosse 37-yard line.
He goes from his own 37 to the Bosse 37. So a 26-yard kick return. And the Tigers will get the ball basically where they had it the last time before their drive stalled.
Tigers line up, 3 wide receivers set to the far side. Single wide receiver near side is Luke Dockery. Warning has gotten the call several times tonight in the backfield. They fake it to him here on 1st and 10. Here comes a pass near side, batted away, incomplete. Looks like they were trying to hook up with Elsherman.
Well, looking at the stats all season long for the Memorial Tigers in the passing department, Elsperman has been their top receiver, Jevin. As you know, he's come up with on the year 34 catches for 512 yards. That puts him second in the conference. He's got 6 touchdowns receiving.
So now it's 2nd and 10 for the Tigers. Baker joins Horning in the backfield. It is Horning with the give up the middle. He squirts through, lowers his shoulder, hangs on to that football at the 29-yard line. That's a healthy gain of about 8 for Landon Horning.
Timothy Wilson on the submarine tackle. Certainly 4-down territory for the Tigers.
About halfway through this second quarter. Dockery near side as a single wide receiver again, 2 to the far side. Baker right up the gut. That does the trick inside the 20. Still on his feet. And Baker is dumped down at the 10-yard line. Gain of 19 for Donovan Baker on a simple give right up the middle.
Darian Fellows hanging on as Baker shows he worked out in the weight room this summer. And they'll get it inside the red zone. The replay.
They're going to mark the ball at the 11. That's where his knee went down. So it's not 1st and goal. It's 1st and 10 from the 11. Same formation again here. Baker to the right, Horning to the left. Back to Baker they go. Left side. Following a blocker. Makes one man miss. And he gets into the end zone. Touchdown Tigers. Donovan Baker gives Memorial their first lead of the night. It is an 11-yard rushing score for Baker, his second of the season.
And the first one was also an 11-yard run last week against Harrison. As they move him from the right side, they attack the right defensive side here. Baker bumps into the defender, bumps away, and trots into the end zone as the Memorial Tigers will try to add one more extra point.
It'll be Pate Barrett, the sophomore, 15 for 16 in PATs this year. 8-6 is our score, 5:34 to go in the quarter. Barrett's one miss came in that game against Mater Dei, and before the snap, Bosse jumped off sides. See if the Tigers want to go for two here or kick the PAT. And I think they're going to put the offense back on the field.
Yep, that's what they're going to do. So you're about an hour and a yard and a half away. Ball's right down in the middle of the field.
Watching Baker run on this drive with his strength, that might be who gets it here on this two-point conversion, which comes from the one, middle of the field. Baker lines up as the fullback. It is Baker, +2 for the Tigers. They lead 10-6, 5:33 to go in the second quarter here at Enlow Field. You're watching on IndianaSRN.
Since 1973, People's Furniture and Mattress Outlet has been operated by 3 generations of the Flitner family. From Stan Sr. to Stan Jr., and now Stan's daughter Susan and her husband Jacob. For the last 50 years, customer service and quality home furnishings has been their goal. Other furniture stores may come and go, but People's Furniture and Mattress Outlet will show you how easy it can get for the next 50 years.
People's Furniture and Mattress Outlets, how easy can it get?
Evansville's original pizza since 1955? Why, it's Rocka-Bar Pizza, of course. 17 incredible specialty pizzas. Mega Meat, Chicken Barbecue, Rocco Pesto, and Bacon Cheeseburger. Or how about Quesadilla, Chicken Bacon Ranch, Hawaiian Margarita around the world, and their breakfast pizza. Plus all your favorites. Oh yeah, don't forget about their signature salad. It's like none other. Dine in, carry out, or catered. Rediscover Evansville's original and still the best Rocka-Bar Pizza.
Tigers with their first lead of the night. It is 10-6, 5:33 to go here in the second quarter, and they kick off from Barrett. Returned just shy of the 15. For the Bulldogs, it is Floyd Jr. He tries to stretch to the far side and to go a long way to get it past the 30-yard line. Well, if you're just joining us and you're seeing that score 10-6, how's their first lead of the night? Well, it was 6-2 Bosse after the Tigers had the safety on the bad snap on the punt. Tigers go 4 plays, 37 yards after that. 11-yard touchdown run from Donovan Baker. They go for 2 after Bosse jumps offsides on the PAT. And that is how we get to our 10-6 score. And our scoring drive is brought to you by Simplicity Furniture. They are located at 1309 North Green River Road in Evansville. Have fun shopping for furniture with the Coslets. Father, Pat, and sons Chase and Kelsey.
They had to return to the bench side. So he runs 50 yards. He started from the 13. Still got 18 yards on return. Empty backfield.
Wagner has been most of their offense tonight. Was looking to throw, and now he tosses down the field. He had a man that broke coverage one-on-one and sails the pass just a tick too far. That was for Tijon Tomlinson, incomplete.
Yeah, Tijon, a basketball player for Coach Burkhart, utilizing his speed. Here's a replay. He breaks contain, rolls right, throws a good ball, just overthrew him.
Looked good on the move throwing there. Wagner came in completing almost 60% of his passes. And he's not one-dimensional as a runner. He can throw it too. 2nd and 10 for Bosse. Ball at their own 31-yard line.
Same formation.
Empty backfield for Wagner. Fakes the handoff. Wagner takes off running. They have him angled toward the sideline. Now cuts it back in a step or two and gets bottled up at the 37-yard line, maybe 38. Pickup of about 7, 3rd and short.
Looked like they had him contained. They had 3 or 4 white shirts out there, but the athletic ability of Elijah Wagner gets the corner and picks up about 6 or 7.
Zemer Funeral Home has served the Tri-State for over 95 years. Zemer is honored to comfort families during a time of need, and they look forward to serving local families for generations to come. Thanks to Zemer Funeral Home, a sponsor of tonight's broadcast here on IndianaSRN. Officially 3rd and 4 from their own 37-yard line. Bosse has not scored since the opening drive of the game.
A lot of room. Ball's on the right hash mark going left.
They hand it off. A little juke move to the 40. Close to the first down stick, maybe a half-yard shy. Waiting to see who gets up off the pile on that carry. That was number 3, Royal Elliott. It's 4th and short.
Now they put Elliott in the backfield, and he made he had it bottled up over his left guard, but he made those couple yards all on his own. 4th down, Bosse trying to go for it.
So they don't
bunch left.
See if Wagner just runs it himself. That's what he will do. He goes to the opposite side, and Wagner picks up the first down. The 44-yard line. It's a gain of 5. They loaded up the left side, but ran right.
Yeah, went to the weak side, the short side of the field, as Donovan Baker was there. Also Joseph Hinkie. And in the area also was Landon Merrimee. So first set of downs for Bosse. It's their 6th first down, 5 by the rush.
Wagner passes near side and nobody home. In between 2 white jerseys, closest man was Amari Hope.
They ran the wheel route, go out or up, out, and then up. And double coverage there on Hope. Incomplete pass, stops the clock.
Bosse did get the football first tonight. Therefore, Tigers will have it to start the 3rd quarter. Tigers have scored 10 straight points. Safety, touchdown, 2-point conversion. Wagner passes again, back-to-back plays, and it's too tall for Tomlinson. Close to the coverage was Sam Nichols along with J.J. Lowry. 3rd and 10, so back-to-back passing plays.
Bring up a couple of extra speed guys in the down lineman. Gene, who got the quarterback sack down almost a safety. He's back in there. As they'll move Ben Zemer out the tackle, in the tackle as well. As they'll move up at defensive end with some speed, Jake Lively. So personnel change here on a 3rd and long, trying to get some speed on the pass rush.
Chance of defense from the Tigers side here on 3rd and 10. Rolling to his left, cross the middle, wide open is Tomlinson, 35-30. Tomlinson gliding right up the middle of the field. Boy, was he wide open. Down to the 24-yard line, a huge gain. That's the biggest strike through the air. Wagner to Tomlinson.
From the 44-yard line, good job. Tomlinson sat in the route and waited for Wagner. Wagner will stop, hit him. Thompson the right, good yards after the catch from the 40 down to the side to the 36. So a big pickup here down to the 26. So a pickup of 30 yards.
For Tomlinson, just his 6th catch of the season. He has 4 touchdown grabs, though. Here's a give up the middle. And they go back to Finote, and Finote gets a couple. Another lengthy drive here by Bosse. That was their 8th play, and starting to get late in the 2nd quarter.
Matthew Hawkins from the right defensive tackle spot. Put a circle around that pass play of 30 yards because that kept the drive alive. That would have forced a punt situation. But Bosse starting this drive on their own 31.
2nd down play. Wagner. Good juke move, still on his feet, and just lofts it down the field, and it's caught inside the 10. Boy, like he was throwing a balloon, and it drops right down the lap of Antonio Floyd Jr. Bosse has 1st and goal at the 9. At first, I thought he was just throwing it away.
Well, nice job. And a prime example, this play, Jevin, of Elijah Wagner extending the play. As he scrambles right, comes left. Kibb's going. Donovan Baker misses. Looks like he's just going to maybe throw it away, as you say. And a good catch as Bosse, first and goal.
From the 9, empty backfield for Wagner. He has 1 rushing touchdown tonight. That was a 19-yard run on the opening drive. He comes near side, tiptoes the near sideline, and he's out of bounds at about the 1. So it's a pickup of 8.
Couple of white jerseys had shots at him, but Wagner extending the play, picks up 8, and it is 1 yard away from retaking the lead for the Bulldogs after the Tigers had scored 10 straight points.
If Bosse does score and the Tigers get it back with some time, they do have 2 timeouts left.
Come back with the same play.
Wagner has 11 rushing touchdowns on the season, looking for number 12. Tries to cut it inside, and he got in. Touchdown, Bosse. A 1-yard rushing score for Elijah Wagner. Bulldogs back on top. It's 12-10. That was an 11-play drive.
Good job by Wagner. Goes to the right this time. Looked like he was stopped by a couple of defenders, but does fall forward. You can see here on the replay. Gets going, gets hit, and then just carries a couple of defenders into the end zone as Bosse all season long, as we said, will go for the 2-pointer.
They failed to get it the first time tonight. Landon Lloyd lines up in the backfield with Wagner, who's going to throw it, and 2-point try successful here. So it's 14-10 Bosse. Tigers offense will have 84 seconds to work with and 2 timeouts when we come back.
He hits Amari Hope for 2.
Support the local economy and save more when you shop at the Pet Food Center. We have over 6,000 pet-related items for dogs, cats, birds, fish, reptiles, turtles, rabbits, hamsters, gerbils, and more. Anything you want for your pet, we've got it. Includes full lines of the best pet food, bird seed, a full line of heated pet products, pet clothing, toys, and more. Walk in, curbside pickup, shop online, and free local delivery.
Anything you want for your pet, we got it. The Pet Food Center.
Why do our students love Wrights Memorial?
Because our academics prepare students to succeed in college and in life. I believe in educating our students to their highest potential. I believe in creating a welcoming, faith-based learning environment. And I believe a memorial education is the foundation for a bright future.
Explore the endless possibilities at Wrights Memorial.
I think offsides.
Bosse recaptures the lead as they go 12 plays, 69 yards in 4 minutes and 9 seconds. It was a 1-yard rushing touchdown from Elijah Wagner, his 2nd of the night, also his 12th rushing score of the year. And on the kickoff, we had a flag.
Offsides against Bosse's kicking team.
The Tigers, the objective now is to get a score here before the halftime break. Then you'll get the ball to start the 3rd. Thanks to Melk, a sponsor of tonight's broadcast. Melk, for all your commercial, mechanical, electrical, and plumbing needs. At Melk, big projects, big solutions. So the kickoff comes from the 35-yard line now. And they angle it to the far side, return from the 25, 30, 35, 40. And out of bounds there on the Bosse sideline. That was Connor O'Donohue. So we'll see what the Tigers offense can do with 78 seconds.
Well, you go get some long passes. You got to at least get 1 first down maybe.
Oh, we haven't seen tonight from the Tigers offense. Those little bubble wide receiver screen passes.
Well, they tried one out there to Luke Elsperman. And,
that's right, in the first quarter, yeah.
And only got about 3 yards.
Well, you're good for about 4 or 5 of those each half for the Tigers offense. 3 wide receivers set. Petke tries to lead a quick 2-minute drive. Looking to throw here. He is just going to chuck it deep and up for grabs. It's incomplete. Well, that was a dangerous pass. They were trying to find Simon Schultz. He was outnumbered. Thankfully for the Tigers, it just fell incomplete.
Yeah, you go for the bundle that time, as defensively out there was Timothy Wilkerson. Good protection. That was just a two-man pattern out there. He had max protection, two-man pattern, and they were just going to try to go for the bundle. Now it's second down and long, and Bosse looking to maybe force a punt.
They're going to run it here. This is right up the middle with Elsterman. Forward progress is shut off at the 46-yard line. Gain of 5.
Would Bosse call a timeout here?
I wouldn't think you would. Down to 50 seconds to go here in the half. Tigers still with 2 timeouts. Have to get just past the 50-yard line for a first down. They're going to run it again with Elsterman. He is in some trouble, and he's brought down from behind at the 41-yard line. Now Bosse will take a timeout with 32 seconds. And the Tigers will have to punt. So Bosse will get it back with less than 25 seconds probably after the punt. And the Tigers special teams will have to hold. We hope you stay with us for the halftime show, which will be brought to you by Orange Leaf Frozen Yogurt. They are your go-to spot for that afternoon sweet treat or refreshing snack. They have a variety of self-serve frozen yogurt flavors, endless toppings, real fruit smoothies, made-to-order shakes, and holiday cakes. Satisfy that sweet tooth of yours at Orange Leaf Frozen Yogurt. That is 701 North Burkhart Road in Evansville. Well, for the Tigers here to just kick the ball out of bounds. Try to negate a big return.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea, but or try to keep it deep and maybe come up with a turnover. As give Bosse's defense credit. They've come up big here. As we'll see what Joseph Hinkie. He had a 51-yarder. Got it down to the Bosse 6 on his first punt. As Bosse will send 2 guys back, look for the return. They're actually going to send 3 guys back.
Yeah, they shift to 2. Yeah. So Hickey gets the punt away. It's a high kick at the 20-yard line on the return, and it'll be a loss. Good coverage on special teams. That was a one-man job by Mr. Broshears.
And we have not called Alex Broshears' name a lot this year, but Hinkie gets it down. And again, as they will mark it inside the 20. Hinkie's kicked the ball 3 times this year, and all 3 have been inside the 20. As that one goes for 38 yards.
Now, Bosse won't do anything crazy here, but also you don't have to with the man you have at quarterback. Just let Wagner run. It's been their best offensive play. Did have one big hookup through the air. Wagner to Tomlinson that last drive. 22 seconds and 1 timeout to work with for Bosse from their own 15. Floyd Jr. in the backfield with Wagner. Rolls to his right. Takes off running. Has a little bit of space to the 25. Wagner still on his feet. Clock continues to move. Out of bounds he goes past the 30. That play took 10 seconds. As we're down to 12 seconds to go, so maybe 2 more plays for Bosse.
And that epitomizes what Wagner has been for the Bosse offense all year. They could have taken a knee, but he goes from the 15, and he picks up, 15 yards? And with 12 seconds, they get another play like that or even bigger. Who knows? Up by 4. Feeling good going into the locker room.
I know the Tigers defense, I mean, you're somewhat okay with that. It used 10 seconds and somewhat kept him in front. Just got to keep him out of the end zone. That's the only objective here. Here's a deep ball near side. Almost picked up by J.J. Lowry. Goes through his fingertips. Lowry does have 2 interceptions on the season. They're looking for Tomlinson, who has a big catch on that last drive. Down to 7 seconds.
Yeah, why not go for it? As you said, Memorial will get the ball to start the second half. Be interesting to be in that locker room, see the topics of discussion. First time the Tigers will be trailing at halftime.
They pitch it. And this play will take us to the end of the first half. Well, the clock stopped with 1 second for some reason. I don't think Bosse called a timeout. Nope, there we go. So at the end of the first half, Bosse leads 14-10. It was a back and forth first 2 quarters. We'll recap it all for you next on our Orange Leaf halftime show. The Bulldogs in front by 4 here on IndianaSRN.
That can get you in the career that is right for you. Ivy Tech Community College has over 70 career-focused programs to get you into the job that you want. Ivy Tech offers programs in the latest technologies such as robotics and cybersecurity. Demand for nurses has never been higher. In fact, more nurses have graduated from Ivy Tech than any other college. Take the first step with an affordable education at Ivy Tech Community College. Go to ivytech.edu for more information and to apply now.
For 95 years, Zimmer Funeral Home has been committed to providing peace of mind at a difficult time. Our family has proudly served the Evansville community since 1927. As we enter into our 4th generation era, our professional and caring staff works hard creating meaningful ceremonies to meet the special needs of each family. We are proud to celebrate 95 years of business in the Tri-State. Zimmer Funeral Home is honored to help comfort families during their time of need. Thank you for trusting our family with your family.
Halftime here at Enloe Field. Bosse, the home team tonight. They lead Memorial 14-10. Let's recap the scoring for you. Bosse, they got the ball first, and they went 7 plays, 65 yards in 2 minutes and 22 seconds. Elijah Wagner with a 19-yard touchdown run. They went for 2 and failed to get it, so it's 6-0 Bosse with 9:38 left in the first quarter. Tigers defense nearly got a safety. Ball was spotted at the half-yard line, middle of the second quarter. Bosse had to punt. It was a bad snap. They got the safety anyway. 6-2 was our score. And then on that next drive, the Tigers went 4 plays, 37 yards. It was an 11-yard touchdown run from Donovan Baker. They went for 2, and they got it. 10-6 Tigers, 5:33 left in the second quarter. And our most recent score came from Bosse, a lengthy drive, 12 plays, 69 yards. Wagner, a 1-yard rushing touchdown. And that is where we're at here, 14-10 Bosse. Mike, first half thoughts from both sides.
Well, Memorial's defense gives up 14 points. They'd only given up 19 all year, so not in a situation that they thought they would or have been all year. Bosse showing that they've got athleticism, doing all the right things, have not, except for that ball going out of the end zone on a safety, really have done a lot of things right. Elijah Wagner showing why he leads the league in rushing and almost passing, as the Tigers had 6 first downs, 5 rush, 1 penalty, did not throw a first down pass. 1 penalty, that was a personal foul that negated a long drive, ball getting inside the 10-yard line or 15-yard line. Bosse, 9 first downs, 3 by the pass, 6 on the run. They have 4 penalties for 17 yards, as time of possession actually belongs to the Tigers, 13:09 to 10:51. But the lead belongs to Bosse by 4.
And Tucker Smith will have the halftime show up next. As Mike mentioned, Bosse leads it by 4 here on IndianaSRN.
Licensed Sports Official is a great way to make a positive difference in the community and support the over 160,000 Indiana student athletes that participate across 21 IHSAA sports. Sports officiating allows you to stay connected to the game, become a role model for our young student athletes, earn extra money, and support the patrons and communities of our IHSAA member schools. To learn more about becoming a licensed IHSAA official, log on to ihsaa.org/officials today.
We encourage you to follow us on Twitter at IndianaSRN. Find upcoming games, video highlights, and much more. Follow us now at IndianaSRN.
Welcome back to Enlow Field for the Orange Leaf Halftime Show. I'm Tucker Smith alongside special guest, Principal Aaron Schmidt. Mr. Schmidt, thanks for being here.
Hey, Tucker, thanks for having me. It's good to sit down and talk with you.
Yeah, no problem. Well, thanks for being here again. And second year as principal, correct?
Yeah, second year.
Settling in, you feel like? Kind of comfortable, a little bit more comfortable with it?
Yeah, I would say compared to last year and just kind of learning it all on the fly. This year's been a little bit more steady, kind of getting a better sense of it. Still not quite as familiar with it as I was with teaching and all the years I spent in the classroom, but feeling better every day.
Sure. I'm sure the first year there's a lot of observing and learning and everything else, which with any new role, you're constantly learning, right? Knowing what to do in certain situations. It's kind of, there's not really a playbook, right? It's more along the lines of when it comes up, kind of taking care of it, whenever things do happen.
We try to put a lot of programs and systems in place in the admin team with just talking about making sure that we're not trying to react constantly on our toes, trying to constantly react to problems, trying to put things in place that are going to try to take care and lay out a good culture for the school, try to alleviate those problems as much as we can. But there's in any job, anywhere you're at in the world, you're gonna encounter things on a daily basis that are going to spring up and need to be dealt with. But it's been good. I keep telling people that I miss the classroom every day. I'd be lying. As a former student of mine, how much I loved being in the room and impacting kids and sitting down with them and teaching them. But I feel like the work that the admin team doing, the work that we're doing on a daily basis is work that is needed and work that is worth doing.
Sure.
Even though it sometimes doesn't feel as rewarding as teaching and seeing the light in a kid's eyes and cracking jokes with them and hearing, hey, you made a difference in my life and I really appreciate your class and stuff. This is important work and it's work worth doing. And I'm happy to still serve in any capacity I can at Memorial.
Well, I know we're happy to have you as principal. I know I was very excited whenever I heard the news that you were going to be principal, and because I knew how great of a teacher you were whenever I was there and when my brother was there and everybody else. But I guess obviously there's a big difference between teaching and being a principal. But what do you feel like is the biggest difference between the two?
I think Mr. Mosick and I, we kind of joked about this. So one of the first letters that we kind of sat down and wrote, hey, this is going to be first piece, and talk about how you prepare with the end in mind. That was kind of his opening line that he had kind of suggested. You want to talk about being prepared for the end, and anything you do is with that end in mind. And I kind of looked at him and laughed. I said, hey, anybody who's ever had me as a teacher knows that it's very much in the moment, right? You could wake
Sure.
up and in AP Gov, a Supreme Court justice dies, or you wake up in world history and there's some discovery that gets made that morning, and you're trying to figure out how you're going to fit in your lesson. You're going to figure out current events that are going on to tie the world in with the kids so that they understand it. So I don't know if I was maybe uniquely prepared for that, in the sense that I didn't necessarily ever come in with a hard plan, hard outline every single day, and if it got bumped, that I was going to be in a spot where I felt like my entire day was off or ruined or I was struggling. But I do think everybody kind of told me going into this, the hardest part of your job is going to be every day having some idea of a list that you want to accomplish and almost never getting to it. And that there's truth to that.
Sure. I'm sure that list grows every day, right?
It does. The amount of emails to stay up with and people that pop in and there's issues and trying to figure out, okay, where's the work? Who does it belong with? Is that really my job, or does that belong with somebody else? Can somebody else handle that? And it's just kind of learning those roles and, how can I, as a leader, build capacity in others so that the school can function at the best way that it can.
Sure.
It's kind of what I've kind of learned over the past year and a half in this role. So.
Well, and I know something that you've been excited about too is just because enrollment is up at school. We've had to fill in those spots because we want to keep our class sizes small. So we've had a lot of new hires. Of course, Memorial's rich in tradition of having teachers that stay for a long time, right?
Yeah.
Mr. Hupfer being the first one that I can think of, but
there's
several.
Most tenured, right?
Yeah,
Followed closely by
absolutely.
Mrs. Stephen Hagan and a few others behind them, but I think those two are a little bit further ahead than anybody else in that cohort. So.
Absolutely, but we do have a lot of new teachers as well, and I feel like, when we had our original kind of faculty retreat at the beginning of the year, some of them were a little bit more reserved just because they're in a new spot, new faces, new to teaching, some of them. So they were a little bit more reserved, but I feel like as we've gone through the school year already, they just seem to be fitting in. They're just kind of fitting into that Memorial mold, if you will, because they have those tenured teachers to kind of take advice from. They have someone like you who was just in the classroom. It's not like you've been removed from it for so long. They're familiar with that aspect.
Yeah,
so.
I try to stop in as much as I can so I don't lose that kind of keep my finger on the pulse of the classroom and how things are going, and how teaching's going, and how kids are reacting and stuff today. But no, our new hires have been great. Over the past 2 years, I think we've brought in 9 or 10 new faculty members over the past 9 years, or over the past 2 years. So one of the things we're really excited about this year is we did a culture end of the year survey with the faculty, and one of the things that they talked about was kind of a focus on understanding what it is that Memorial is, right? Like this, when you're like me, right? When you're born into it, you live it on a daily basis. You live. You're born, you live, you die, right?
Sure.
The Memorial. And
Memorial Blue.
Yeah. And so for people like us, it's easy.
Sure.
We're not an outsider. We didn't have to come in and learn new culture. It's just kind of understood. And so there's a lot of things that around Memorial, like anywhere, that are kind of unspoken, but are a big part of that culture that make it up. And so I think for myself, and for Mr. Mosek, one of the things we talked about was how do we onboard new people? If we get somebody who's not from Memorial, not from Evansville, from out of state, or from just kind of out of the area, how do you explain to them this is what it is, this is what it means to be a Memorial teacher, this is what it means to be a Memorial student, this is what this community does for you, this is how we treat each other. And so there's been a big emphasis on looking at our values this past year, really kind of doing some deep dive into that and kind of saying, who are we exactly and how do we want to say that and be very explicit and very upfront with people. So we're diving into that work, and it's really exciting stuff for me because it's something I can impart on our students. It's something I can impart on our faculty, and then they're going to impart on our students, and it just gets more absorbed in the culture and lays a good foundation for people to come in to say, this is what Memorial is, and they just know it immediately.
Sure. Yeah, because that Memorial culture starts from the top up, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of that trickle down. It trickles down from the admin team to the faculty and staff to the students, students, and then take that home to their families. So,
yeah, and then, and I know we talked about, sorry to interrupt you,
no,
but I know we talk about, the values that are put in place, whether it was started by the Sisters of Providence or whether it was started by the Brothers of Holy Cross, who I, had the fortune to be taught by with Brother Eugene and, Brother John Stout, or other religious figures throughout the years that were in the building. And then just kind of by default, the faculty picked up on those values over the years as well, because they were the figures of the school that were there for so long, and the ones who set the foundation for them. So, we talk about things like family, right? We talk about things like excellence. We talk about things like discipline, and we talk about things like understanding and caring about others and treating each other with dignity and respect and those kinds of things, and just being very intentional with the way that we go about and kind of define who we are.
Sure. Well, and speaking of culture, I know there's a lot of alumni that'll be happy to hear.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure they know the news already, but we're coming up on October here, and so if you're around Memorial, around campus, you will see students back in shirts and ties.
Yeah.
So I know the alumni will be excited about that, so tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah.
Why that came back, or why it went away to begin with, or whatever it may be.
Well, I think the being a member of the faculty, the reason we kind of brought it up initially, or the reason it was explained to us that it went away, was during COVID. And in the early days, if you remember, it seems like a lifetime ago, almost, just because it was such a tumultuous time and living through it and trying to figure our way out through it. But at the very beginning, nobody really understood or knew how it transmitted. They had ideas, they weren't sure, points of contact and all of this stuff. And so the idea was to limit as many points of contact as we could, right? So, in March, and then, when school shut down and we didn't return, and then coming back, how are we going to return? We want to be in person. We want to open up. And we were fortunate. If you look at a lot of schools around the country, they did not return that following year, that fall of 2020. And we were fortunate that we were able to be in the classroom, hybrid models, working back and forth. But it was one of those things that just we weren't sure. And so we eliminated all points of contact. And in my opinion, unfortunately, the ties were one of those points of contacts. And so I was fine at the time. I didn't know, and so I didn't disagree with it. But now that we have more understanding of it, we're going to return to that tradition of 97 years of wearing a button down and a tie. And
That's right.
I remember being a freshman in gym class with Coach Weinzapple, and I remember walking out and the very first day and saying, Coach, I don't know how to tie a tie, and him, taking it in my hand and whipping it around on my neck and, cinching it up as tight as can be. I almost couldn't breathe, and him looking at me and saying, Schmitty, I'm going to give you one day to learn how to tie a tie. You're going to go to the school. You're going to be a man. You're going to learn how to tie a tie. And I said, all right, Coach. And so I went home that night and I learned it. And I, in a little bit of a fun gesture, I would make that an assignment in my world history class for the guys, right? And so then, of course, then the girls would say, well, why can't we get it? And I said, you can. If you learn how to tie a tie, I'll give you the points too.
Absolutely.
So, but tie it the right way, tie it to the right length, and look good. So it's a nice gift with Christmas coming up.
Absolutely. Yeah. So if anybody out there is looking for some gifts for their students, they go to Memorial. Ties. I know that was a big thing my grandparents always got for me, was ties. So
Pink Tie Wednesday used to be a thing when I was there, and I don't know if that's going to make a comeback. There's talk of bow ties as well.
And
but
they can have fun with it, right? They can show their personality with their ties as long as it's appropriate.
Keep it school appropriate.
But they can have fun with it. I know I had some fun ones. I had like some Looney Tunes ties.
I had the smiley face one, and I had a blow pop Tootsie Roll one that I used to wear, and a Snoopy baseball one and stuff like that. So
absolutely. Well, Mr. Schmidt, again, we appreciate you being on today, and we're excited for the school year and excited for the future of Memorial. So in closing, you got anything else for us?
No, I'm just excited that you're here working at Memorial High School. I just want to mention that you've been a great asset as well. You were a great student.
Did you think I'd be back whenever I was a student?
I thought you were going to follow that law enforcement career, but then I got in and we got to work with you for a little bit and see how well you were doing just on the marketing side of stuff. And I thought to myself, man, if there's any way we can keep him, it would be fantastic. So very excited that you're with us and we get to work with you on a daily basis.
Well, I'm excited to be here. So thanks again, Mr. Schmidt, for being here, principal of Memorial High School. Before we go, we got about 40 seconds left. I'm going to give you some SIC score updates. Most of these games are at halftime now, but Central losing to Jasper 28-0. North is up on Mater Dei 6-0, a little bit closer game than we expected there. And then a big surprise here, Castle's up 17-7 on Wrights. We expected Wrights to put up big numbers against Castle, but we'll see how that game proceeds. And then Vincennes Lincoln up 7-0 on Harrison, so another tight game there. And then we'll give you some bonus points here. Big Ten football, Wisconsin up 21-3 over Purdue at halftime. You're watching Tiger football on IndianaSRN. We'll be right back with you.
Calling officials cheaters or corrupt, it's not a game.
Insulting referees, it's not a game.
Threatening officials, it's not a game.
Berating young umpires, learning the ropes, it's not a game.
Violent language in the stands, it's not a game.
Verbal abuse from the sideline, it's not a game.
Screaming at a referee in the parking lot, it's not a game.
Just about ready for the start of half number 2. Memorial get the football first. Bosse 14, Memorial 10 alongside Mike Scavara. I'm Jevin Redmond, our great IndianaSRN crew. And as always, there's many people to thank every week.
And we'd like to thank all our viewers right off the top here. Thank you for watching us and getting a good opportunity to watch the Tigers play each and every week. And a big thank you for watching. Continue to watch and continue to thank all of our sponsors in various ways, as certainly take advantage of their goods and services, and tell them thank you for sponsoring the Memorial football here on IndianaSRN. Of course, thank you to the two schools participating here, Evansville Bosse, Superintendent David Smith, and Principal Aaron Huff, Athletic Director Tom Bellemare, Head Coach Stephen Mullen, and Administrative Assistant Rhonda Holder for all of their help in getting the information together for us this week. Of course, each and every week, President Christian Mosick and our halftime guest, Principal Aaron Schmidt, doing a good job as Chad Dockery, the athletic director this year, helping us along with head football coach John Hurley, getting us information as well, and Patty Van, the administrative assistant. Of course, we could not do this, folks. And again, you tell me everywhere I go that the production is top notch, and without Chuck Levine and Daniel Thacker, Chuck the producer, Daniel our cameraman, they do an extraordinary job in doing this. And of course, we can't stop here. Not only can you watch the game here on Indiana SRN, but the podcast that Jevin Redmond that you host every week as well with Simon Schultz and Coach Hurley and some players.
Yeah, you said that kept you up till 1 a.m. last night.
Yeah, I listened. I had been derelict in my duty in listening, so I listened to just about all of them, 6 of them, earlier this week.
All right, Tigers get the football first to start the third quarter, trailing 14-10. That's the first time this season the Tigers have been down at halftime. Again, the storyline was Tigers defense giving up only 19 points the entire season. Before play tonight, they gave up 14 in the opening half. Here is O'Donohue on the return, slicing and dicing right through traffic past the 40, and pretty good return out to the 43-yard line, and we'll see if the Tigers can retake the lead here early third.
Of course, Connor O'Donohue owns the longest pass reception for a touchdown, 87 yards. That was from Petke in the Central ball game. So 1st and 10, Petke, the quarterback, will lead the white-clad Tigers out on the field. Get a 1st and 10, down by 4.
Tigers ran the ball fairly well in the opening half, especially on that first drive. Did not score on that drive, but it went 16 plays before the fumble inside the 10 from Petke. From their own 43-yard line, Petke goes to the ground, handoff up the middle. This is Horning. And Horning carves out some room to the 49, a pickup of 6. But I was going to finish my thought in terms of running the ball okay. Petke probably wasn't as sharp as he would have liked to have been throwing the ball. We'll see if he has a better second half.
Well, Elliott on the stop, and he was one of our 2-player profiles for Coach Mullen, and he talked about Royal being the captain of the defense, and he was certainly Johnny on the spot there, coming up with the stop. But Horning picks up 6, gives him 2nd and 4.
Just shy of the 50-yard line for a wide receiver set. And Petke hands off up the middle into Bosse territory and much more. Cruising past the 40-yard line. It is back-to-back carries for Landon Horning. And there is an injured Tiger back at the 50-yard line. Slow to get up is right guard Andrew Jones. Good to see him get back up, though.
First play worked for 6. Second play, same result. More yardage in the Bosse territory.
They'll spot it at the 38-yard line, so 2 plays, 2 good runs, and here come the Tigers.
And if it works, why not come back to it? And they did.
Horning's there again to the right hip of Petke. 3rd time in a row, and this one is shorter gain. Shot off at the 35-yard line, a pickup of 3.
Jadrian Griffin on the stop.
Next week, Memorial will be at Wrights. Both the teams are 5-0 at the moment, but both teams are trailing. That was somewhat of a surprising score we saw at halftime where Castle leads Wrights 17-10.
I misidentified. Keandre Hall, the linebacker, made the stop. Want to give him credit?
So it's 2nd and 7 from the Bosse 35. It's been all running plays so far to open up the second half. That will change here. Petke moving to his right. Quick pass caught at the 30-yard line and angled out of bounds past the first down marker. That is Simon Schultz.
First down of the night. Passing for the Tigers. Do the play action pass. Simon Schultz out into the right flat. Petke rolls right, hits him. Good yardage, fresh set of downs.
He went out of bounds at the 27-yard line. 2 guys that started to pursue Petke but got the ball out.
Well, we kind of figured out, at least on the offensive side, what they talked about. They said, all we got to do is execute, guys.
And they are so far on this opening drive. They load up the far side, trips wide receivers. Elshman now in motion right to left. There's the jet sweep. Oh, he got a good block. Turns the corner, 25-yard line, weaving through space. And Elshman with a shifty move at the 20, sprints forward. And that was a nice series of moves by Luke Elshman on the jet sweep. Tigers in business. Another first down around the 10-yard line.
Good job that time. As you talked about, he made 1, 2, and 3 different players miss. And we've got a Bosse player down as Memorial Tigers starting on their own 43, get down to the 10. We've got a timeout.
And we'll take a break here on IndianaSRN.
My name is Jay Jones. I'm the commissioner of the Heartland Collegiate Athletic Conference, and we appreciate you tuning in to tonight's game. We hope you'll stay tuned to SRN for tomorrow's Heartland Conference Game of the Week, showcasing some of the best small college football in the Midwest. We look forward to seeing you then.
Got some action on IndianaSRN tomorrow. Volleyball action. Rose Holman will play a doubleheader starting 11 o'clock against Baldwin Wallace, and then Olivet at 3 o'clock. And then also on IndianaSRN, Rose Holman men's soccer against Ohio Northern at 3:30. So there's an injured Bosse player on the field right now with 9:47 left here in the third quarter. Tigers are threatening to have first and goal from the 10, and we'll take another break for the injured Bulldog here on IndianaSRN.
Thinking about what to do after high school? Consider a career with Boilermakers Local 374. As a Boilermaker apprentice, you'll earn while you learn. We offer excellent wages and benefits, and as part of our no-cost hands-on apprenticeship program, you'll learn from the best in state-of-the-art training centers and on the job. Become a union Boilermaker and get on your way to a great career. Find out more, visit www.local374.org or call 219-845-1000.
We encourage you to follow us on Twitter at IndianaSRN. Find upcoming games, video highlights, and much more. Follow us now at IndianaSRN.
On our acute lawn and landscape scoreboard, 9:47 left, third quarter. Bosse 14, Morial 10. Tigers will have a first and goal from the 10, and we thank Acute Lawn and Landscape for their sponsorship. Contact them. They'll help you with the design and installation of your landscaping project. Need help removing those annoying fall leaves? They also offer leaf cleanup. Call 812-455-7400 or search Acute Lawn and Landscape on Facebook. Your yard can look sharp with Acute Lawn and Landscape. This next play will be number 7 for the Tigers on this opening drive of the third quarter, trying to retake the lead. Where the lineman for Bosse was injured last play. Hopefully everything's okay with him.
Try to identify him as soon as we can.
So back to action here. They go to the ground with Landon Horning, looking for space, middle of the field, and he gets twisted down inside the 5-yard line. They'll mark him at the 4. It's a pickup of 6.
Good play, good execution. Dante Butler Jr., one of the senior linemen, was the Bosse injured player. So the Tigers, right out of the gate, good kickoff return, start from their own 43 and looking to retake the lead.
3 minutes gone here in the third quarter. You've got Elshman back there along with Horning now on second and goal. They go with Elshman right up the middle, a huge hole, easy touchdown. Luke Elshman, Tigers back on top at 16-14. That was a 4-yard rushing score for Elshman, his first rushing score of the season.
And that looked real easy there. Nice job on the left side of the offensive line as Elshman was actually looking for a tackler, couldn't find one, and then just kind of waltzed right in.
So, I think you could have walked that one in.
Don't go that far.
So Barrett with a PAT. This will be his first PAT of the night. The Tigers' points came on a safety. Touchdown, they went for 2. And Barrett's kick is right through the middle. He is now 16 for 17 on PATs. Tigers march right down the field. They're in front now, 17-14, early third quarter action here in Evansville.
I'm Keith Myers, Vice President of IndianaSRN. Thanks for joining us. Do you know IndianaSRN broadcasts 350 games a year? All sorts of sports? Yeah, we do. Hard to believe, isn't it? IndianaSRN loves to put student athletes first on our website. If you're a business out there, we probably could help you too. Contact us at coach@indianasrn.org. Grandma from out of state thanks you. Mom and Dad who can't get to the game thanks you as well. In fact, our athletes watch the games over and over again. Our military has enjoyed the games as well. So sit back and enjoy the game. It's IndianaSRN.
The opening drive of the second half for the Tigers goes 8 plays, 57 yards, 3 minutes and 11 seconds. Luke Elshman, his first rushing touchdown of the season. He has a handful of receiving scores, but it was a 4-yard touchdown run for him. PAT good from Barrett at 17-14 Memorial. With just under 9 minutes to go here in the third quarter, and that scoring drive brought to you by Simplicity Furniture. They're located at 1309 North Green River Road in Evansville. Have fun shopping for furniture with the Coswitz, father Pat and sons Chase and Kelsey. And here comes Barrett for the kickoff.
The last time Memorial scored, Bosse came right back and answered. Coach Mullen would like to see that same thing happen.
Barrett puts his left foot into it. There's a squib kick, middle of the field, a high hop around the 30-yard line, and Bosse wisely just falls on it. Good play there by Fanat.
Decent field position for the Bulldogs. Start their first possession of the second half. Instead of being up by 4 at halftime, they're down by 3.
So we saw the Tigers defense make some good adjustments there, I'd say middle part of that first half after the opening drive from Bosse, but then they had a pretty long 12-play drive late in the second quarter. So we'll see how this first drive of the second half of the Bosse offense goes.
Put pressure on Wagner when he throws and keep him in front of you when he runs.
He has both rushing touchdowns tonight, does Wagner, a 19-yard score and a 1-yard score. They move Fanat from left to right in motion. Drive starts from their own 29-yard line. Wagner claps his hands, takes a snap. Quick pass across the middle. Look out. This is a big play on their first play of the third quarter. And he got that ball out lightning quick. It is brought in by Fanat, who was in motion left to right. And here comes Bosse.
What they did was they put him in motion, and that changed the coverage in the secondary. And Wagner just drilled the pass. And Fanat just utilizes speed, splits the defenders as Jeremiah McGuire doesn't get him. It's 6.
McGuire saved the touchdown there. In real time, I thought he might be gone. So to the Tigers' 37-yard line. And Wagner hands off up the middle. Not much there for Antonio Floyd Jr. Got back to the line of scrimmage. And it's second down.
Hawkins along with Tanner Grace, Matthew Hawkins. No gain.
Antonio Floyd came in averaging about 60 yards a game on the ground. Mainly him and Wagner do most of the running. Seen Elliott a couple of times tonight. Wagner trots to his right. Flag flies. Wagner takes off running. Short gain, he's shoved out of bounds. It might be a hold.
Yeah, it's in the area of hold. Picked up about 5 or 6, but the hold was around the line of scrimmage, so they'll back it up 10. If it indeed is a hold, it'll be their 5th penalty for 27 yards. Tigers have just 1 for 15, but that was a personal foul penalty.
And that was a big penalty because at the time they would have had first down right around the 10-yard line, but instead they had to punt.
Yeah, wiped out a big gain. So, in essence, that was like about a 30-yard penalty. March them back to the Bosse, rather than Memorial 47.
So a chance here for the Tigers defense. Of course, you got the weapon of Wagner at the quarterback spot. He can get out of just about any hole himself.
Empty backfield.
It's 2nd and 20. Tigers rush 4. Some space for Wagner. Shifty move to the 40. Juked right and then ran left. Lively was the man closest to him, and then a couple of Tigers brought him down. Shot the 35-yard line.
Gets back that 10 on the penalty and 1 more. And you got to stay in your rush lanes. And that time, couldn't find a receiver. And if it's been a second or two and he can't find anybody, he's going to run and gets double-digit yards on that one.
So Wagner got 11, sets up a manageable 3rd down and 9. You're in 4-down territory here. Just under 7 minutes to go, third quarter. Here comes some pressure. Wagner takes off running, slings it across his body. It's incomplete. And that was all created by the blitz there from Sam Nichols, who was chasing Wagner from behind, and it's 4th and 9.
As you said, it's going to be 4-down territory. And he zinged that. Watch this pass. That had something on it, that's for sure.
Looked like that was Floyd Jr. who was in the area.
Came out of the backfield. No, they were 5 wide, yeah. And
so put a star by this play here. Middle of third quarter, 4th and 9 for Bosse from the Tigers' 36-yard line. Fanaut moves a couple of steps to his right. In the pocket, Wagner goes, leaping attempt, and it's picked off. J.J. Lowry, he has some open space, 40. One man to beat. 40-yard line, 35, cuts it inside. He has a blocker out in front, still on his feet. Inside the 20, twisting his way down to the 10. J.J. Lowry, his 3rd interception of the season. Oh, what a play.
Nice job by Lowry. He picks it off at the 20-yard line. The ball just overthrown a little bit. And Lowry showed good speed, as you said, Jevin. Wagner, the receiver, over him, intended for Hope. And he's got a convoy.
Boy.
Then he cuts back here. Thought he maybe had it right here. But then he cut back one more time. Shortest distance between 2 points is that straight line. But he gets it down inside the 10. So about a 70-yard return.
Tigers will take it 1st and goal from the 10. That is a Tigers' 12th interception from their defense this year. And now a chance to go up 2 scores here after trailing at halftime 14-10. Horning and Baker in the backfield with Petke. They're going to go to Donovan Baker, head of steam right up the middle. And Baker is able to get to the 6, a pickup of 4.
And the first takeaway, interception or fumble, a bad snap gave him the ball going out of end line of the end zone. It was not a takeaway. But Tigers would like to get 4 yards of play, because if they do that 2 more times, they'll be in the end zone.
Looks like the same formation again. It's Baker. Oh, he stumbled a bit at the line of scrimmage, does dive forward and picks up positive yards. It's a gain of 2. So now you're staring at a 3rd and goal from the 4. Last drive, when the Tigers went 8 plays, 57 yards, Elsterman had the rushing touchdown, his first of the year. It's a 4-yard variety, and he had a huge hole to work with.
Well, if they don't get any more yards, it would be a 21-yard field goal. Get a chance to get the lead up to 6 if they don't score here.
Same running back combination in the backfield on 3rd down. They fake it to Baker. Petke rolls out. Under pressure, takes off the other side, flings it toward the goal line. It's caught. Touchdown, Tigers. Luke Elsterman. Back-to-back scores for him. 1 rushing, 1 receiving. Tigers up 2 possessions.
Good job that time by Will Petke extending the play. That ball was intended to go to the right. Here's our replay. He rolls right, looks right. He scrambles left. He had Baker short, Elsterman long. He finds Luke for his 7th touchdown reception of the season, and just like that, the Tigers are up by 2 scores and trying to make it 10 points on the Barrett extra point.
Good snap, good hold, and the kick from Barrett is perfect. This game has changed quickly the last few minutes. Bosse was leading 14-10 at halftime. Tigers come out of the gates, back-to-back scores. They lead by 10.
Let's clear the air about vaping. Glue, rat poison, paint. We all know these products contain poisons like formaldehyde, arsenic, and lead. And these are just a few of the chemicals you'll find in e-cigarette vapor. Let's clear the air, Indiana. Don't puff this stuff. Visit don'tpuffthisstuff.com to join the fight and spread the word.
My name is Jay Jones. I'm the commissioner of the Heartland Collegiate Athletic Conference, and we appreciate you tuning in to tonight's game. We hope you'll stay tuned to SRN for tomorrow's Heartland Conference Game of the Week, showcasing some of the best small college football in the Midwest. We look forward to seeing you then.
J.J. Lowry set the Tigers up first and goal at the 10 after a long return. After he picked off his third pass of the year. And a pass to Luke Elshman from 4 yards out puts the Tigers in front 24-14. And Bosse will take over around their own 35-yard line after they just run out of bounds on the kickoff. Hey, thanks to Pet Food Center, a sponsor of Tigers football here on IndianaSRN, with locations on Evansville's east, west, and north sides, and also in Newburgh and Owensboro, Kentucky. Anything you want for your pet, they've got it. Pet Food Center. So that was a very short drive for the Tigers. 3 plays, 10 yards, a minute 24. Elshman with the touchdown catch, his 7th of the year.
For not the 6-yard return, so Bosse will set up shop offensively on their own 36.
Just under 5 minutes to go, third quarter. Wagner with a quick pass. It is received by Elliott, and then Elliott tries to cut it upfield in between the hash marks, and he maybe lost a yard.
Alex Broshier is the man on the initial hit, grabbed him by the ankles and said, "You're not going anywhere else." And a white shirt team helps him out. Oh, they might give him a yard back. Might get it back to the line of scrimmage. Maybe lost a half a yard.
So it's 2nd and 11 from their own 35-yard line. Wagner has some company now in the backfield. Fakes the handoff. They run the option, and Wagner's option is keep it himself. Blockers out ahead. 40, 35, 30. Cuts it back in between traffic and then gets undercut inside the red zone all the way down at the 18-yard line.
He makes people miss, and he made several there. As he looked to pitch it on the option, didn't, and kept it, and just puts on the Jets.
He also has blockers that have some speed to get out in front, too.
So they go from their own, say, 35, 36-yard line inside the red zone to the Tigers' 17.
Yeah, down at the 18-yard line. Lloyd to the right hip of Wagner. Dancing around, now throws toward the end zone, and it is caught for a touchdown. Boy, lightning quick. Bosse responds.
Tajon Thompson.
Tajon Tomlinson with his 5th receiving touchdown of the season, and they do that in just 3 plays, and it's a 4-point game now, and of course Bosse will go for 2.
Good job by Wagner. Waits the time, eludes a tackler, throws it up. Defender right there. But Tomlinson, he's a basketball player. He went up for the jump ball, got the rebound, or however basketball term you want to use.
Got the slam dunk, too.
And instead of 2 points, he got 6.
The Bulldogs are 1 for 2 on 2-point tries. And make it 1 for 3. No flags. It stays a 4-point Tiger lead. Back after this on IndianaSRN.
Harvey here at Hyundai of Evansville. We love this community and we love these hot deals that we are offering. Like low prices on the new 23 Santa Fe's, now get an additional $2,500 rebate when you finance with Hyundai Motor Finance and get 3-year free maintenance and America's best warranty.
So if you're in the market for a new vehicle, stop in and let us show you some love.
Right here at Hyundai of Evansville, where credit is never a deal breaker.
Where nobody walks away because everybody saves.
Why do our students love Wrights Memorial?
Because I can grow stronger on the field and in my faith. I believe in my teammates. I believe in my classmates. And through Christ, I believe I can accomplish anything.
Come live your faith at Wrights Memorial.
Well, just when the Tigers thought they had some breathing room, not so fast. The Bulldogs come right back at them. 3 plays, 64 yards. The scoring play was an 18-yard pass to Tajon Tomlinson, his 5th touchdown catch of the season. Tomlinson now has 8 catches on the year, 5 of which have gone for a score. That's pretty efficient. And the 2-point try was unsuccessful, so it stays a 4-point Memorial lead. Short kick, popped up in the air. The Tigers just catch it shy of the 45-yard line. Looks like that was Dockery who was able to receive that kickoff. Hey, thanks to Rockabar sponsoring tonight's broadcast. Join them at their new location at the corner of Green River Road and 4600 Washington Avenue in Evansville. Stop by after the game or tomorrow for breakfast, lunch, or dinner for your favorite pizza and other fine food. Well, Mike, you mentioned earlier in the broadcast in the first half the best defense might be the Tigers' offense tonight, and this could be case in point. Bosse gets a quick score to make it a one-possession game, and now the Tigers, we'll see if they can put together a lengthy drive and use some of that clock.
Yeah, and they utilized offense and defense. 2 touchdowns on offense, a 70-yard interception return by J.J. Lowry set up that second score. So with decent field position on their own 38.
Looks like there was a penalty against Bosse, too, because...
Oh, yeah.
Looked like it was Dockery who caught that at the 43-yard line out of bounds. They move it up to the 48.
No indication, but was that a 10-yard penalty?
Looks like 5.
5.
I think it was a procedure penalty they just said through the PA system. Anyways, Tigers will take it. The drive starts just shy of the 50. They've got Elsterman at the quarterback spot here. Now the Wildcat, we've seen it a couple times tonight. And it's the simple handoff, does not fool the Bosse defense. Swallowed up is Landon Horning by 3 red jerseys, one of which was Darian Fellows.
Yeah, he loses a couple. Or 1. Yeah, they put it back up to the 47.
Well, Bosse, despite their 1-4 record, they put up some points this year, as we talked about. They almost beat Castle here week 3, a game that was tied 42-42. Castle then won 52-42. We're starting to have a shootout happen now here in this contest. This is Horning. He patiently waited, and then he explodes forward for a huge gain right up the gut to the 39-yard line, and that goes for 14 yards.
Yeah, and you used the word right, patience. He kind of sets up there. I think he stutter-stepped for a second there, saw an opening, and then used some sprinter speed to get a fresh set of downs. There he goes.
A little toe tap there, and boom.
Yep. He showed why he actually had 12 carries, 87 yards last week against Harrison. He actually, with 145 yards coming into the game, was the leading rusher on the Tiger squad.
He was averaging 6 yards per carry before tonight. So it's 1st and 10 from the 39-yard line. Here's a little jet sweep action coming near side for the Tigers. That is Carson Anslinger. Haven't called his name too much this year, but Anslinger gets it to the 34-yard line. That goes for 5.
Yeah, but we've got a yellow flag on the play in the backfield. No, I guess not. I thought he threw a flag. Well, Anslinger picks up 5 then.
Inside of 2 minutes to go here in the third quarter. Tigers had scored the first 14 points of the second half before Bosse with a quick score, 3 plays, 64 yards moments ago. Petke hands off to Horning. Horning was hit just past the line of scrimmage, and he drives forward for 2. Sets up a 3rd and short.
It was Anslinger's 3rd catch of the year. Say 4th down territory. Again, this is the home field for both schools, but this is Bosse's home game, so that's why they're on the home side across the way. As the Memorial Tigers fans below us from our broadcast area inside Bosse High School. And now we've got a timeout being called.
And one of the Bosse defensive players goes down. So let's take a break here with 1:08 left in the third quarter. Tigers in front, 24-20.
The goal isn't graduation day. It's a better every day after. It's the first day in your new career. Your first pay raise. The 5th day of that week-long vacation. It's the first paid holiday home with your family. Or the day of your last car loan payment. Much sooner than you thought. At Ivy Tech Community College, we don't just care about your degree. We care about your life. Let's get started at ivytech.edu.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to Memorial.
Hey, thanks for being here. You're in great hands.
3rd and 2 for the Tigers. Ball resting a yard shy of the 30. 60 seconds to go here in the 3rd quarter. It's been an entertaining start of the 2nd half. Petke hands off to the fullback, Baker. And Baker gets the first down easily to the 26. That's a gain of 5. We've seen him quite a bit in short yardage situations tonight, and Baker has had success at the fullback spot.
5th first down for the Tigers here in the 3rd quarter. They only had 6 the entire first half. And Donovan Baker, the go-to guy in short yardage tonight.
Baker had 11-yard rushing score back middle of the 2nd quarter that put the Tigers on top for the first time. It was Baker's 2nd rushing touchdown of the season. High formation here, and Baker lines up as the running back. That's who gets it, and he'll start to get back to the line of scrimmage. Maybe lost a half a yard, and that play should take us to the end of the 3rd quarter. We had some action, though, in that 12-minute sequence. Bosse led 14-10 at half. Memorial scores 14 straight points. Then Bosse comes right back to make it a one-possession game with 12 minutes to go here in Week 6 at Enloe Field. The Tigers trying to move to 6-0. There's 12 minutes left here on IndianaSRN.
Does your home's exterior need a makeover? Consider a new entry door from Lensing Building Specialties. Browse classic and modern door styles to boost your home's curb appeal. Explore our wide variety of beautiful and energy-efficient entry and patio doors. Don't worry about the work. Schedule an appointment for our skilled techs to install it for you. Get started at lensingbuildingspecialties.com and make your home feel new again.
A Wrights Memorial Education is now more affordable than ever. If you fit within certain income guidelines, you could receive over $6,000 of tuition assistance. Find out if you qualify for an Indiana School Choice Scholarship or other tuition assistance opportunities. Your child, your money, your choice. Visit wrightsmemorial.org for more information.
Stop by the Evansville Hyundai Auto Dealership for your next purchase of a new or used car. Located on Evansville's east side, it's home of the 100,000 miles powertrain warranty and 3 years free maintenance. Evansville Hyundai, a sponsor of tonight's broadcast. Fun 3rd quarter. We'll see what the 4th quarter has in store. Tigers lead 24-20, and they have a 2nd down and 10 for the Bulldogs' 27-yard line. High formation to start the 4th quarter. And the Tigers will get a free 5.
7th penalty for just 37 yards. Again, the Tigers, who had 12 and 10 penalties the last 2 weeks, only had 1 tonight.
Coach Hurley talked about this week was trying to minimize the penalties because it seems like each week they've been around that 10 penalty mark. Both sides have been better in that category tonight.
Baramy is back in there at fullback, number 54. Extra blocker.
Give this to Horning. He made one man miss, and he got the first down, but we'll see if it comes back. Flag came in from the white hat.
Maybe I jinxed the Tigers.
You always wonder how teams do once you start to get tired in the final quarter. It is a hold against Memorial, so that negates the first down.
Horning hold was on the 21. Ball was on the line of scrimmage at 22, so Horning statistically will get a yard, so it'll be 2nd and 19 now.
Ball gets backed up to the 32. I think it's 2nd and about 14 for Memorial.
I guess maybe he got a little more yardage.
Horning, nothing there. He is gobbled up And now they're going to say the ball came free. Bosse comes away with it on the return back to the midfield stripe. The Bulldogs defense just forced another turnover. That's a second fumble tonight for the Tigers.
Michael Green was the man that flung him around on the fumble, on the stop. And it looks like Hall came up with the fumble. Runs it back to midfield.
I think the Tigers were pleading maybe he was down by contact. That drive that went 8 plays.
Here's a replay.
Ends with a fumble from Horning. Yep, it came loose. So Bosse gets at the midfield stripe and a chance to take the lead here early fourth quarter. Wagner runs the option. He pitches it to Floyd Jr. Right there is Sam Nichols, and Nichols is able to force him out of bounds at the 47-yard line. That's a loss of 3. Nice play by linebacker Sam Nichols, the senior, who came in 5th in the Tigers' defense and tackles.
So the second takeaway by the Bosse defense, both fumble recoveries and returns. So Bosse started this drive at midfield with 11:25 to go in the game. Now they're back in their own territory.
We talked about the Tigers' offense had not lost a fumble all year long, and they've lost 2 tonight. Empty backfield for Wagner. Here comes a quick pass near side, and he throws it too low for Tajon Tomlinson, who has 2 big catches tonight, one of which was for a touchdown, and now Bosse has a 3rd and 12.
I think the Tigers' defense can weather the storm here on this turnover.
Tigers defense will try to force a 3 and out. Be interesting what Bosse would do here if they get a little bit of yardage. That's what Wagner would try to do up the middle, and he gets to the 45-yard line, stays on his feet, out of bounds. He stepped at the 43, so he'll be about 3 yards shy of the first down. That makes this decision pretty easy for Bosse. It'll be 4th and, we'll call it 4th and 3.
Yeah, we've only had 3 punts in the game, 1 by Bosse and 2 by Memorial. And when you got Elijah Wagner, you've always got hope, even though hope's also out there.
Would have been interesting what they would have done had they got just a couple yards, but again, that run by Wagner makes this decision easy for Coach Mullen in his 3rd season at Bosse, looking for his 6th overall win.
He's going to have 2 blockers out there leading the charge either way.
Here goes Wagner right up the middle, and he's stopped. The Tigers get a turnover on downs. Wagner did not get that block. Good pursuit by the Tigers defense, and they hold here early in the fourth quarter. No gain on that carry.
That was Ben Zemer, defensive end, coming off the field on the charge as the Tigers, they put Zemer in at a defensive tackle, and he breaks the block and makes the stop, and the Tigers defense comes up with the big contribution on downs. The Tigers get it on their own 44.
So after the Tigers fumble, they get it back. Chance to go back up 2 scores. Drive starts from their own 44-yard line. Handoff. Horning, who fumbled last drive, works his way to the 49-yard line to pick up a 5. And while we have a second, some score updates from Tucker Smith throughout the SIAC. One final, Jasper Clobber Central 41-13. During the third quarter, North leads Mater Dei 16-0. Vincennes 28, Harrison 0, and Wrights, who trailed 17-10 at halftime, now in front at Castle 24-17.
Well, both Wrights and Memorial looking to stay undefeated. If they do, that'll be the big showdown in the bowl next Friday, and we'll be there with IndianaSRN.
Scoreboard update was brought to you by Kipley's. Play clock down to 5. Go back to the ground with Horning, and he backpedaled his way for a gain of 4. He's a yard shy of the first down to the Bosse 47-yard line.
Michael Green is going after you. He's 6'3" and 280. You want to back forward or any way you can get away from him. 3rd and short. Let's see what the Tigers do.
2 minutes gone here in the fourth quarter. We've got Baker in the backfield. He's been your short yardage guy tonight. He's had success in that I formation as a fullback, but Petke goes out of the gun here. And it is Donovan Baker up the middle. Bosse defense was ready for it. And then Baker's strength, I think, got that first down. Indeed, just shy of the 45-yard line with the chains. Producer Chuck Levine was all over it. He said in our ear, I bet it goes to Baker, and that was the case.
All right.
Chuck's 1 for 1.
I'm sure Coach Hurley would like to have him on his staff. Jadrian Griffin, along with Royal Elliott, made the hit, but an important first down. Keeps the drive alive, keeps the clock going as we're under 10 minutes remaining in the game. The Tigers trying to hold on to this 4-point lead and maybe extend it.
Elsterman in motion right to left. There it is, jet sweep, looking for a block out in front. Turns a corner 40, 35-30, zigzagging through traffic. Tight ropes that sideline, and he stayed in bounds somehow before he's brought down shy of the 10. Good footwork there by Luke Elsterman, that jet sweep, and the Tigers have it inside the red zone.
Good block downfield. We'll see that by Connor O'Donohue. Here we go. 1st and 10. Nice block there. Tight ropes down the sideline. And the Tigers have a 1 score from 11 yards out, a run by Donovan Baker.
Dylan Kendrick lines up in the backfield with Horning. Haven't seen Kendrick carry the ball yet tonight until now. Kendrick tried to avoid that big defensive lineman, Michael Green. Well, welcome to the game, Dylan Kendrick. He ran right at Green, who's 6'3", 280.
He got 1 yard.
So gain of a yard, 2nd and 9 from the 10 as we approach 8 minutes to play.
Yeah, that play earlier where Elsterman, it looks like it's actually a run, but it's actually a pass because Petke actually tosses it forward, and they do that because if the ball is dropped, it would be an incomplete pass. So that counts as a pass, so good yardage inside the red zone. 2nd and 9 right now.
Same play again, and this fools nobody. Big hit by Royal Elliott. The linebacker came in and stuck Luke Dockery. That's a loss of 6 back to the 15. Goodness.
One too many times. They tried to went to the well there. So this will put it at the 15-yard line. Morrill doesn't get any more yards. This would end up being a 32-yard field goal attempt.
Tigers can get a first down inside the 1.
3 receivers out to the right. One-on-one coverage here on the bottom of your screen by Elsterman.
Low snap to Petke. He's going to throw across his body. It's caught at the 10 by Schultz, fighting for extra yardage, and he's wrestled inbounds down around the 5. Pickup of 10, and it sets up a 4th down for Coach Hurley and the Tigers. Be 4th and about 4.
We talk about putting a circle around a play. We might have to put a giant circle and a couple of squares as well on this one. Not only that, look at the time, and they're bringing on the field goal unit.
It's an interesting decision, too, because you know Bosse, if they score, they're going to go for 2.
Here we go. Very quickly, they line up. They'll put the ball at the
so it's a
13, so a 23-yard field goal.
23-yard field goal for Barrett. Kick on the way. And the kick is good for Pate Barrett. Now 6 for 7 in field goal attempts. Memorial has a 27-20 lead with 6:12 to go, and that Tigers defense will have to get at least one more big stop here tonight. Bosse.
Melk, located in Evansville, Indiana, provides mechanical, electrical, and plumbing solutions nationwide. We deliver quality service to the industrial, commercial, and healthcare industries. If you have a big project, we bring big solutions. That includes designing and installing green energy systems that benefit your business. Our in-depth knowledge and commitment to safety make us the perfect partner in MEP contracting. Contact us for an estimate on your next project. Melk, big projects, big solutions.
Why do our students love Wrights Memorial?
Memorial helps me find the right rhythm on stage and in my education. I believe in developing my craft.
I believe in building a community.
And now, I believe I can hit the right notes in all aspects of life.
Showcase your talents at Wrights Memorial.
Tigers get a field goal from Pate Barrett, 23-yard variety. And here's a little squib kick that will be returned by Fanat to the 40. Weaving through traffic. Good tackle around the shoestrings at the 37-yard line. Flying in there and grabbing him for the Tigers was J.J. Lowry, who had a big interception earlier in this half. 8 plays, 38 yards, 4 minutes and 52 seconds for the Tigers offense. As a scoring recap is brought to you by Simplicity Furniture. Hey, you belong at Ivy Tech Community College with 5 times to start each year. They have flexible scheduling. There's always a great time to begin at Ivy Tech. Join them for Tuesdays at the Tech.
It'll be entertaining here this last half of the last quarter. Tigers looking to hold on to a 7-point lead. The Bulldogs looking to erase that.
Tigers defense forced a turnover on downs the last drive. Here is Fanat, chops his feet forward for a short gain of 1 or 2.
Alex Brochures as J.J. Lowry limps off, so Desmond Johnson will come back and play in the secondary. Tigers scored on their first 2 possessions of this second half. Bosse did the honors in the scoring on their second possession. Since then, we've had no scoring. That last score came with 3:37 to go in the third quarter.
Wagner checks his wristband here on 2nd and 9. Empty backfield for him. He rocks back, wants to take off running, middle of the field, and he was greeted after a short gain. Linebacker Alex Brochures, who by far is a team leader in tackles. He was plus 23 in tackles for the top spot. Makes a stop there. It's a short gain, 3rd and 9.
Back-to-back tackle, not only leading the team in tackles, he leads the Southern Indiana Athletic Conference in tackles coming in.
We've seen Wagner hook up with Tomlinson a couple times on a big strike through the air. We'll see if he wants to throw here on 3rd and 9. Under 5 minutes to go. Tigers holding to a 7-point lead. Trips wide receivers to the far side. Running back to the right hip of Wagner. Tigers will bring pressure with 4 across the middle. It is caught by Tomlinson. Good open field tackle at the 44. It's a gain of 6, and now you have 4th and 3.
Give you one shot at who you think made the tackle. Alex Brochures.
Probably just mentioned him, yeah.
Yeah, 3 for 3 on tackles in this drive, and Bosse's going for it. The Tigers stopped them on downs their last possession.
It was a 4th and 3 when they got the stop. And the Tigers defense hold here coming up on 4 minutes. Tigers trying to move to 6-0. 3 wide receivers set. Wagner will try to make a play himself, and he's brought down to the backfield for a loss. Back-to-back possessions, turnover on downs. The Tigers defense comes up huge.
Donovan Baker, who scored a touchdown, has run in a 2-pointer, has had some big key runs, comes up with a big key stop here as the Tigers go back-to-back defensively on downs. Watch the bottom of your screen.
The threat of his jersey yanked him down. We've seen the strength of Baker on short yardage positions on the offensive side. Now he comes up big on the defensive side. And the Tigers take over with 4:02 left at the Bulldogs' 39-yard line. They'll try to run this out as much as they can or punch it in and go up 2 possessions. Important thing here for the Tigers, protect the football. They have coughed it up twice tonight on the ground. Here is Dylan Kendrick right up the middle. Burst of speed to the 31-yard line. Dylan Kendrick's second run. This one goes for 8. It's 2nd and 2.
Good acceleration. Got some fresh legs in there as Dylan, just a sophomore, comes in. And the Tigers going to take their time. They just restarted the play clock. I'm sure Coach Hurley is saying we don't want to snap it, or maybe they shouldn't snap until there's about 4 or 5 seconds left on that clock.
Both teams have their full supply of timeouts left. This is officially a 2nd and 2. They go right back to the ground game. Kendrick fighting to get to the 30, but he's shut off a yard shy. Gain of 1. And now it's third down for the Tigers, coming up on 3 minutes to play.
Prius Kintz made the stop.
Well, Donovan Baker comes back in for Kendrick, who gave them a nice run on back-to-back plays. Good work by the sophomore, and now I'm sure it'll be Donovan Baker time, the senior back in.
And you can see, and probably saying 11 red jersey says, watch number 5.
First down is just past the 30-yard line.
11 guys at the line of scrimmage.
Baker lost the football. Put some red jerseys around it. There's a mad scramble for it, and Bosse comes up with it. I just mentioned that's the most important thing right now for the Tigers is protect the football. It's their third fumble of the night. Bosse has life once again with 2:35 to go.
Mikal Green makes the recovery after the hit. Has a good job on the hit. Didn't see the number. Number was Hall. He made the cough up as the Tigers will go back out on defense.
Well, now that defense will have to get another stop. Back-to-back drives. They have forced a turnover on downs. Can they get a third consecutive stop with the game on the line? Wagner moves to his right. Now in the pocket, he changes sides of the field. Wagner makes one man miss. Looking, surveying, and a lot of work to get to the 35-yard line. He ran a mile to get maybe a yard. If you're a Tiger fan, you just hold your breath every time he's running around back there.
You took the words right out of my brain and my mouth on that one.
Well, we've also seen him throw some BBs too, so the more he works in that backfield, you worry about the secondary coverage as well.
Well, it's been a team effort for the Tigers the second half, being down by 4, scored on their first 2 offensive possessions. The last 2 defensive possessions, they have forced Bosse to turn the ball over on downs.
It's 2nd and 9 from the 35. Wagner under some pressure, dancing, but he can't dance out of this pressure this time. Down he goes for a sack. Back at the 27-yard line. A couple of Tigers were in there.
Landon Merrimee led the charge. You've seen him play a little football on offense on fullback.
3rd and 16 now, back at their own 28-yard line. 2 minutes to go.
There go Merrimee and Baker. From the 35 back down to the 27.
Tigers crowd come to life here on the near sideline. Wagner, he's just going to take off running on 3rd and forever. He has it far sideline, and he will be pushed out of bounds at the 37, so he got 9 yards back, which will bring up 4th and 7. Pretty much the game on the line here for Bosse. They do have all 3 timeouts left. A first down is at the 44-yard line. And Bosse is going to call a timeout here. So now the game is on the line. We're going to keep it here, though, and remind you that People's Furniture Mattress Outlet has 50 years of operation for a business that is family and 3rd generation owned. How easy can it get for quality furniture and a quality mattress? Stop by and see the friendly folks at People's Furniture Mattress Outlet in Evansville. All right, well, can they get 3 consecutive turnover on downs? What's the key here on this 4th down play?
Well, contain whoever carries the ball. Wagner, in all probability, do not let him scramble. As Memorial coming in, Jevin, we talked about it, had given up only 19 points all year. Well, they've given up 20 tonight, but the defense is being called on. They'll take up giving up 20 if they can force Bosse to turn the ball over on downs in 3 consecutive times that Bosse will have the football. So let's see what Coach Ben Johnson and the defense will come up with. Again, Memorial has really kind of changed their defense a little bit, Jevin. They've gone to 3 down linemen. They've added an extra linebacker just in order to kind of contain the scrambling, the running of Wagner and his teammates. Here we go.
Game on the line here. It's 4th and 8 for Bosse. 3 wide receivers far side, single wide receiver near side. Wagner 3-step drop. Gets flushed out. looking down the field. He's going to throw it across the middle, and it's through the fingertips of Royal Elliott, incomplete. He was wide open to the Tigers' 40. Would have kept the game alive for Bosse, but Elliott can't haul it in, and it's a turnover on downs for the third straight possession. Tigers get it back with 1:29 to go. Bosse can stop it twice, so Memorial would need one first down to put the game on ice. Oh, man, he was wide open, too.
He's not going to sleep well at night tonight. He was open, and that was enough for the first. So the Tigers will get the ball back on downs, and they'll mark it at the Bosse 37.
Well, I said it last time, going to say it again. Protect the football. Hear a lot of coaches say high and tight in these situations. Sure, you want yards, but you have to secure that football. Tigers with 3 fumbles lost tonight. Petke, Horning, and Baker all have 1. This is Horning, no gain, and Bosse will burn their second timeout of the half. Stopping the clock with 1:25 to go, and it's a perfect chance to check our SIAC scoreboard. Mentioned the final earlier. Jasper beat Central 41-13, so Jasper improves to 4-2. Central drops to 0-6. In the fourth quarter, North leads Mater Dei 23-0. Assuming that result holds, North will be 4-2. Mater Dei will be 1-5. Vincennes leading Harrison 28-0. Looks like Vincennes will now be 5-1. Harrison will drop to 0-6. Vincennes will be here week 8 to face Memorial. And then next week, Memorial will head to the Wrights Bowl and take on the Panthers, who trailed at halftime 17-10, but they have scored 21 unanswered points in the fourth quarter, and they lead Castle now 31-17. So if that result holds and this result holds, you have a pair of 6-0 teams next week at the Bowl.
Well, if Memorial can run the clock out, time of possession can be a fooler, because if your offense scores in 1 minute or 2 minutes, you can lose the time of possession but win the game handily. Well, the defense has been the offense for the Tigers, as we talked about. If the Tigers can run the clock out, they will have the ball 29 minutes and 44 seconds, which means Bosse would only have it 18-16. That will be accomplishment number 1 for the Tiger defense, stopping, as you said, and we've talked about, the last 3 Bosse possessions.
Here is Horning. He's able to gain 2 yards. They faked that jet sweep as they had Elshman in motion right to left. Be 3rd and 9 after Bosse just called their final timeout of the game with 1:20 left.
Well, you can run a play for 5 seconds and then get another 25, so that'd be 30 seconds. You can get it under a minute to around 50 or so. And if the Tigers punt it, Bosse might have to go a long way, but they have that capability.
So now they still had Bosse for 1 timeout, but they just took it off. So they're out of timeouts. Once this game is over, we'll have a quick post-game recap, and we'll have our Rockabar player of the game. Probably a few guys we can sort through. Game's been so exciting, I haven't really had a chance to think about it. Also, this broadcast is copyrighted by IndianaSRN and the Indiana High School Athletic Association for the private use of our audience. The use of pictures, videos, and audio without the express written permission of the IHSAA is prohibited. Tigers trailed for the first time all season at halftime tonight, 14-10. They at one time had a 10-point lead.
Bosse, got to give them credit, Coach Mullen and his staff. They don't look like a 1-4 ball club here tonight.
Not at all. And as the Tigers started to get lined up, our white hat blew his whistle. He's going to have a conversation with our FAR official.
And you're going to see 11 red shirts within 3 yards of the football, the line of scrimmage. They're going to really try to press things.
I think there might have been an issue with the game clock. They added 5 seconds, back to 1:20. So Horning is back there. Elshman at quarterback. So the Wildcat set here. He's done it a handful of times tonight. Elshman will just take it himself. And he will not get back to the line of scrimmage, a loss of a yard or 2. So the play clock resets to 40. And the Tigers will let that milk down, either take a delay of game or call a timeout, then punt it away.
Kanate Brown also on the stop.
They can take it all the way down to about 34 seconds.
And the Tigers will call a timeout when that happens, right, with 1 second to go.
They have 3 to use.
Can't take them home. Can't put them in the bank.
So play clock down to 5. Coach Hurley is eyeing that clock, and then timeout's called with 35 seconds left. So after this punt, you're looking at somewhere between 25 and 28 seconds to work with.
Well, the ball's on the 37, so if you can get a 30-yard punt, get it down.
Well, you mentioned it, their punter, Hickey, pretty good at pinning him inside the 20.
Yeah, three kicks, all 3 of them so far. And he's their third-level punter. I think Coach Fonner is the special teams coach, and he must be doing a great job there. And I'm guessing you're going to have 11 red shirts trying to block the punt.
Tigers probably feel like they should have had this game in the bag moments ago, but again, they've fumbled it 3 times tonight, twice here in the second half, but the Tiger defense has stood firm with 3 consecutive turnover on downs.
Yeah, in the last 13 minutes, and the first one was with 11:04 to go in the ball game, actually 11 minutes, not 13, they have come up with 3 stops on downs offensively.
Well, you have Petke in at quarterback instead of seeing Hickey lined up as the punter. Memorial is going for it here. Rolling to his left is Petke, and then he just throws the ball out of bounds with 27 seconds left.
Oh, my.
I don't understand that at all.
Well, they try to use clock.
I get that, but you can punt and still use clock and pin him deep. That accomplishes the same thing as a punt in terms of time-wise.
I think they said he threw a pass, so they're going to put the ball back, an incomplete pass, and they're going to put it at the 36 or 37. So the Tigers turn it over on downs with 27 seconds.
Well, Mike Scavara, I have a question for Coach Hurley on Tuesday's podcast. I can tell you that much. That's interesting.
Interesting turn of events.
Well, so now Bosse has a realistic chance, I shouldn't say realistic, but a better chance from their own 37-yard line, out of timeouts. And Wagner is a huge threat at quarterback. 3-step drop in the pocket, under pressure, flush to his left. Now he's going to chuck it down the field, double coverage. Jump ball, and it's caught at the 20, to the 10. Bosse scores with 16 seconds left. Oh, my goodness. That is Fanat Jr. on the reception, 61 yards. It was a jump ball. Fanat brought it in, and now Bosse will go for 2 and try to win the game.
A crazy turn of events and a great one. Here's the replay. Plenty of time. Wagner steps up, rolls left, throws it up. Couple of defenders in front. Fanat catches, outruns the defense.
There's an injured Tiger on the field around the 30-yard line. And so now this game will come down to a 2-point conversion. Again, Bosse does not kick PATs. Coach Hurley makes the long walk out there to tend to the injured Tiger. And that appears to be J.J. Lowry.
What a turn of events. Wagner just throws it up there. The defenders try to go for the ball. Neither one of them come up with it. They just need to keep everybody in front of you. They did not. And that results in a touchdown. Was it 61 yards? From where was the ball at?
The ball was
at the 37.
Yeah.
So 63 yards.
63 yards. Aaron Fanat Jr., the senior wide receiver, jumped high over 2 Tiger defenders in the secondary. And here we go. Well, the Tigers defense held 3 straight drives with turnover on downs. Now they're going to have to hold here on this 2-point conversion. Bosse tonight has attempted 3 different 2-point conversions, and they're 1 for 3. The Tigers sideline and stands full of Tiger fans are stunned right now. But if you're the Tigers defense, you have to quickly regroup here.
Yep.
You still have a chance to win the game.
Lowry, the man injured player.
And now Memorial will take a timeout of their own. So they have just one remaining.
Well, Coach Mullins, we talked about him coming in with what his record, 21 losses, 5 wins?
He came in overall record of 5-21 in 3 seasons. Yep.
And this by far would be the number 1 and maybe even the number 2 best win he's ever had if they can get this 2-point conversion. And they were 13 of 24 on 2-point conversions coming in. They're looking to go 2 for 4 tonight.
Well, it's going to be Wagner. We'll see if they just let him run it or if he'll try to extend the play, roll out, and try to throw it.
Well, he ran it the last time they converted and found hope in the end zone.
All right, here we go. Game on the line. 2-point conversion for Bosse. You've got Wagner out of the gun, a man to his right hip. Here we go. 2-point try. Wagner rolls to his right, throws, and it's incomplete. Tigers defense stops the 2-point try, and with 15 seconds left, the Tigers still lead by 1.
Sam Nichols, the defender. No flags. I think they went for the same play that was successful on the last one. Now there's a discussion by the officials.
Well, so now Bosse will have some sort of onside kick.
Now, Hope was the receiver that they put out there. And went to the same play that got him the second touchdown or 2-point conversion.
Are you a little surprised they didn't try to maybe run it with Wagner?
Well, I'm not surprised at anything that happens with Bosse because they've got the talent to do it either way.
Yeah.
But Mara Hope, so the Memorial fans go from euphoria to on their edge of their seats and possibly defeat back to happiness. But still, there's 15 seconds to go. Anything could happen tonight, and we've seen it.
Just recover the onside kick, and be one kneel down, the game will be over. 27-26 Tigers. What a game this has been. What a second half. Back and forth we have gone. Tigers, we thought they were going to punt it away there on 4th down. Ball just inside the 40, and they went for it. I don't know if it was some sort of miscommunication or what all happened there. Bosse got it back, and then it was a long touchdown pass. 64 yards from Wagner to Aaron Fanat Jr. on just a jump ball over a couple of Tigers. And now the game comes down to an onside kick. I feel like I've said this game come down to a certain play about 4 or 5 times. 15 seconds left. Here comes the onside kick. And the kicker may have gotten that ball just past the 50-yard line. Hope comes up with it, and only 1 second went off the clock. So they recover the onside kick. The ball went 10 yards, and the kicker recovers it. Yeah, that ball went 10 yards. Here's a look at it again. Just a little squibber rolling, and he fielded that ball just past the 50-yard line, and Bosse is going to have one more shot at it.
He's got to go 10 yards before Bosse can touch it, and it went 12. There was a hole in the middle there as the defense is going to have to come up big one more time. What an exciting football game. By far the most exciting one in the 2 years you and I have been broadcasting here on IndianaSRN.
Well, this game
coming down to the end, and we've said it's coming down to this, 8 or 10 times?
This game has been entertaining from the start. The last 2 minutes has been absolute bonkers. Bosse is out of timeouts from the Tigers' 49-yard line. They got trips wide receivers here on the near side. Wagner drops back to pass, and before the snap, Bosse moved early. It's a false start. And now moving back 5 yards.
Well, if you've got a trick play, Coach Mullins, now's the time to use it. But you've got an ace in the hole anytime with Elijah Wagner.
And, of course, Bosse doesn't have a field goal kicker, so that's out of the question. They would have to score a touchdown.
And if you're Memorial, the defensive backs, no one gets behind you.
Well, I think they're going to have to reset the clock because we were at 14 seconds, and then you had the false start penalty. They took 2 seconds off, so they will reset that. Coach Mullins was jumping on that far sideline trying to get the officiating crew's attention. Our white hat signals up to the booth. 14 seconds. There you go. Well, watch for Tomlinson. Also, you got to watch for Fanat, who just had that leaping touchdown catch moments ago. Tigers leading by 1, trying to stay perfect here in the regular season. Trip to the near side. Tigers bring some pressure in the pocket. Flag flies for a hold. Moving up is Wagner. He tosses far sideline. It's incomplete. And we're down to 8 seconds left. There was a flag here in the backfield. Tigers will accept that because, again, the downs do not matter at this point. There was a hard hit over on the Bosse sideline. They were pleading for a flag as well. So now you're down to probably one more play.
Didn't see when this quarter started, but it seems like it's been an hour. And it's been fun. What an enjoyable game to broadcast. And if you're not a fan of either team, you're going to like watching this win on the archive play in IndianaSRN.org. But they're moving back 10.
So they'll move it back to the 36-yard line.
Well, the last possession for Bosse, it was a 63-yard pass from Wagner to Fanat. And the ball is on the 36.
Tigers fans are not wanting to see deja vu here.
Yep. They don't want to see another 60-yarder.
You talk about the quarter feeling it takes an hour. The last 2 minutes feel like it's been a game of its own. All right, this could be the final play of the game. 8 seconds left. Bosse is out of timeouts. Tigers leading by 1. They go same formation again, trips to the near side, single wide receiver far side. They throw a quick pass. It is caught by Tomlinson. Now they pitch it backwards, still in bounds. This play is still alive. Wagner. This goes to Tomlinson. They come near side. Tigers trying to make a tackle behind the back pass. Tomlinson still with it. Goes cross field for Wagner. He has some blockers out in front. Wagner gives it back to Tomlinson. Tomlinson loses the football. It's on the turf. There's been no whistle yet. And still on his feet now is Hope. Hope's got the ball behind. That's an illegal forward pass. Now the game will be over. Running with it still is Tomlinson. And Tomlinson, we've had about 3 forward passes on one play. Tigers fall on it. Exhale. Not sure what that was, but it will be ball game. The officials have flags everywhere. The official's white hat has been tossed. Players are laying down on the field. Looks like the end of war. And the Tigers are going to win 27-26.
Take a wide-angle shot of that because there's players all over the field.
I'm not sure I've called a play like that either.
No. And okay, there's one. Oh, the end, okay.
And there was one before that replay as well.
We'll have to see if we can rewind that. There might be 8 or 10 laterals. Okay. And there's a penalty.
Our producer just said that play went longer than the replay log. So that pretty well summarizes what just happened. That play probably took, 30 seconds? If not more? So it took at least 40 seconds, we're being told.
Okay, well, and then we can play, we'll get it in real time. And you know what? This play should go national on some national network. Maybe.
Okay, so we have the first hit that goes against Bosse. There's also a personal foul against Memorial for, I guess, a face mask. And we're going to have a replay of the down, so we'll have one in-time play. We might see that again.
Oh, my goodness. The game that's never going to end. So, offsetting penalties. That's about the only thing we haven't had tonight.
Well, I tell you what, this has been a bizarre last couple of minutes, and the officiating crew's done a good job with it as well.
Yep.
They got that organized quickly, so the ball moves back to the 36-yard line. We do it again. 000 on the scoreboard, so we'll have one untimed down. Bosse has to score to win.
This is going to be what they call a reunion game, because when you get back at reunions and talk about it, you're going to say, remember the Memorial Bosse game.
All right, well, here we go again. They go with an even set, 2 wide receivers each side, and now Memorial wants to call a timeout. This is the final one they have in their bag. And defensive coordinator Ben Johnson wants to talk it over with the Tigers defense.
Then keep everybody in front of you, and this timeout actually is going to give the defense a little more time to rest, because there was about 4 or 5 white shirts just laying on the ground at the end of this play.
Well, so what do you think the best option is for Bosse? Do you try another jump ball or a crazy play like we just saw?
It's going to have to be a crazy play, because the fact that the Tigers let that long 63-yard pass happen again are minuscule, but they've just demonstrated that they have practiced this. This is one of those Thursday practice plays, and they've practiced it, and they executed fairly well.
Yeah. And they have several guys, too, with the speed and athletic ability to where you can pull something off. Yeah.
They know what to do. Bosse has stopped the Tigers on downs once, and Memorial has stopped Bosse on downs 3 times, all in the fourth quarter. And it's a 27-26 game because Bosse could not execute on the 2-point conversion.
One of the more bizarre finishes you will see. So here we go. The one untimed down from the Bosse 36-yard line. Tigers leading by 1, 27-26. Wagner drops back. He's just going to chuck it down the field near sideline. You have 101 coverage, and the pass was caught but out of bounds to John Tomlinson. Ball game. Finally. What felt like it took forever the last 2 minutes. Tigers fans are exhaling as they exit in low field, and Memorial improves to 6-0 on the season with a slim 1-point win, 27-26, and a classic here at Inlow Field. Wow. Credit to Bosse and the effort from the Bulldogs. They dropped to 1-5, but as we've touched on, that is not a one-win team in terms of talent. What an effort by both sides, and the win tonight for the Tigers sets up a pair of 6-0 teams next week at the Wrights Bowl. It'll be the Tigers and the Panthers at 6:30 for Week 7 action. We'll try to somehow find the words to recap it when we come back. Tigers win it 27-26 here on IndianaSRN.
We encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, IndianaSRN. Hit the bell to get notifications for upcoming games and more. Watch as many games as you want, as many times as you want.
Back for our post-game show recap of this one, a thriller, 27-26. Memorial escapes with a 1-point win over Bosse. It improved to 6-0. The Bulldogs dropped to 1-5. Let's recap the second half action for you as Bosse led at recess 14-10. Tigers started the third quarter, 8 plays, 57 yards, 3 minutes and 11 seconds. Luke Elshman with a 4-yard touchdown rush put the Tigers in front 17-14 early third quarter. Tigers then got the ball back after an interception from J.J. Lowry, a 70-yard return. Set him up first and goal from the 10. 3 plays, 10 yards, minute 24. Elshman a 4-yard touchdown catch this time. And the Tigers went up 10 at 24-14 with 5:02 left in the third quarter. Then things got interesting. Bosse came right back. 3 plays, 64 yards, and 125. 18-yard touchdown pass for Tajon Tomlinson. Chopped the Tigers' lead to 3 at 24-21. That was with 3:37 left in the third quarter. No, I'm sorry, that was 24-20 because they went for 2 and did not get it. The Tigers had an 8-play, 38-yard drive in the fourth quarter that took almost 5 minutes. It was capped off by a 23-yard field goal from Pate Barrett, 27-20, with 6:24 to go in the game. Bosse then gets a score on a long touchdown pass that went 63 yards to Aaron Fenot Jr. That made it 27-26. Memorial with 15 seconds It came down to a 2-point conversion in which Bosse failed to get. Yes, we had some theatrics and excitement after that with the laterals and penalties and one untimed down, but in the end, Memorial wins at 27-26. They improved to 6-0, and Bosse drops to 1-5.
And an onside kick recovery
That's right,
as well.
Yeah.
You got to add something.
I
can only
remember so much.
You can only remember so much. Yeah, that's why I'm here. But anyways, and we talked about Tigers defense coming in well, playing well. Well, they played well, as we talked about, stopping them 3 times on downs. But the Bosse defense comes up big and stops the Tigers on downs, where the Tigers could have punted it away. They decided to run it, and it was near midfield, and Bosse had a chance to get it, as we've got all kinds of candidates for our player of the game. As for Bosse, Elijah Wagner is the player of the game every game, but for Memorial Tigers here, he came up big defensively, a couple big stops. He also come up with a big play on offense and scores. Donovan Baker, our Rockabar player of the game.
So Rockabar, stop by for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Their new location, 4600 Washington Avenue in Evansville. Again, I just can't say it enough, though. Bosse is 1-5, but the talent they have, especially at the quarterback position, they're not a one-win team. They're gonna win another game or two here down the stretch. Probably they'll be home against Mater Dei, at Wrights, and home against Harrison. And it's not a team you really want to see in sectionals again either, despite their record. But just tip of the cap to Bosse. What an effort tonight. And then real quick to recap, the Tigers' biggest game of the year comes next week. Pair of 6-0 teams battle for the top spot in the SIAC at Wrights.
Yeah, both teams highly ranked in Class 4A. The Tigers certainly down some players, but that doesn't matter if you're the opponent, because you not only play who's on the schedule, you play the players who are available. And it ought to be an interesting matchup. Both teams' defense played well. We talk about Memorial being number 2 in the state. Well, Wrights was number 4, giving up only 28 points. And how many points did they give up tonight? A bunch more.
Last I saw 17 for sure.
Yeah, and it was almost as many as they had given up all year as well. So it ought to be an interesting match, and we're looking forward to bringing it to you. It'll be at the Wrights Bowl. Good crowd. Certainly want you to come out there, but if you can't, follow us on IndianaSRN. So far, going to be a big game of the year, but there's some big games here in IndianaSRN the rest of the year, and. Jevin, always great talking football with you.
Yep, enjoyed it. We'll see you next week. Huge thanks to our IndianaSRN crew. Our great cameraman was Daniel Thacker. Chuck Levine was our producer. Big thanks to Tucker Smith, the halftime host, and also the scoreboard update man behind us. Broadcast partner was Mike Scavara. I'm Jevin Redmond. Thank you. It's been a pleasure and a privilege. What a wild game tonight. Week 6 action in Low Field. The Tigers prevail by 1. 27-26. We'll talk to you next Friday night at 6:15 for the pregame show. Kickoff at 6:30. It'll be 6-0 Wrights, 6-0 Memorial here on IndianaSRN. Have a great weekend, everyone.